2018, God of War was released on PS4. It won Game of the Year that year, and in retrospect, it feels obvious that the game would succeed.
But behind the scenes, they had no idea how it would be received. And that's after spending 5 years making it.
Not only did Santa Monica Studio create a game that was both a sequel and a reboot, but they presented it at E3 with a live demo. 2 ambitious, risky choices.
Let's talk about Raising Kratos, the documentary about the making of God of War.
Welcome to The Disorg, a podcast where we unpack big ideas from documentaries and the tangents that they lead us down. I'm Grant.
I'm Christian.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Mo.
How are games made? What are the sacrifices that game devs make around the world? What happened to E3?
If you make it to the green room, let us know. And check out the description to know what we're watching next.
Gamers, it's time for a gaming podcast. This is what everyone is here for. We're here for games. That's what this is.
It's all a ruse.
I always come in hot. That's my thing.
It's been a gaming podcast the entire time.
And Katie has been the fake fourth host because she's not a gamer.
The resident non-gamer.
That's so funny.
Okay, but we decided to watch, this week we're watching the Raising Kratos documentary about the making of God of War. It's like produced by PlayStation. So take with what you see with a grain of salt. I'll get into that a little bit more into my tangent. But this documentary is essentially following the development process from conceptualization to pushing it and review scores, start to finish. It's rare for a game development to have a documentary team follow development. Usually it's like after the fact, but like, no, they were there when shit was happening. So it just kind of gives you a glimpse into what game development looks like. It mostly follows Cory Barlog, the creative director, and kind of gives you an idea of what like creativity looks like in the gaming space. I recommend you watch it. It's on YouTube. Super, super good. And what'd you guys think?
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so let's say we divide the documentary into 5 parts. 1 is pre-production, part 2 is E3, which is like preparing and presentation. Number 3 was this part where like he's basically saying making games is hard and messy. 4 is shipping games demands sacrifice, and then 5 is the reception of the game. I loved 1, 2, 4, and 5. I found that the part right after E3 felt a little unfocused, and I wasn't sure where they were going with it, where they were just like, it was a random montage of clips of the game making process and just showing that I guess it's hard to make games. Mm-hmm. Maybe the point was that it being messy is like, that's how video games are made. It is messy and long and whatever. If that was the intention, then I get it. But that was the only part that didn't like really resonate with me, where I kind of tuned out. But all the other parts I liked a lot. I thought they did a great job of showing all the different parts of making a game, all the different people involved with it, and of like digging out the emotions of each person involved in the process. I definitely felt like I was rooting for these characters to succeed.
What about you, Christian? What'd you think?
No, I completely agree. I felt pretty tuned in through the entire thing, and maybe it's because I am a gamer and I do really, really like this game, so I was just kind of entranced watching it. And that's what I took away, Mo, is that whole sequence did kind of come out of nowhere, because Katie actually had a moment, because they were in the boardroom looking thing and they were all having these conversations, and at one point Cory was like, and everybody really pushed for this guy, and so we got him, so now he needs to deliver, and Katie was like, who are they talking about? And I was like, I don't think we're supposed to know. I think in doing that, if they were to like say who this was specifically, it might be just like flaming a coworker by accident, and they didn't want to do that. I think it's really just to show that, the process, especially post like announcement, once you announce something, and especially if you show like gameplay of that thing and cinematics and all that stuff, people start to get expectations. And like what it's going to be is start rolling. So the stress level probably goes through the roof. And so that's how I took that. There were so many moments in this documentary where I was getting like chills. Watching the creative direction unfold with the actors in particular was just like so good. Watching all of the actors bring this really emotional connection to the work. And then them talking about they all got the script and were like, is this a movie? This reads like a movie. And then they were in rehearsal and doing it. And they're like, they're connecting and they're acting as if it's a movie. And when you play the game, you feel it. You really feel it. There's so much that I really enjoyed. I loved that they documented their trips to Iceland, was it? Yeah. And I was saying to Katie, I'm like, that is an incredible thing to do because it was like the creative directors on it, right? And all of like the directors of the various different sections of like, I don't know, like environment design and character design and all that. They all went to Iceland with Corey. Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, there's a reason they did that, and it's to put themselves literally in the space because then they have reference that's not just pictures or video or whatever. It's like, I know what it's like to stand on an icy mountain, right? That feeling, and you feel that in the game too. So I really enjoyed that. And there was the music. Oh my God. Bear. Also, his name is Bear. You kidding me?
He reminds me of you, by the way.
Of course, that motherfucker's name is Bear.
That's so
Absolutely.
funny.
But when he said the thing about like, Icelandic people are the only people who can read Old Norse, and so I'm gonna like run a choir here. I was like, that's Christian in spirit.
That's so funny. I love that. No, seriously, I feel
That's so
kinship to
funny.
that into him because he was talking too about when they were doing the Sony press conference. Was that at E3 technically? Was the gameplay reveal?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was the Sony conference at E3, and he was doing the live music, and he got to like bring the chorus and everybody up as Kratos stepped forward. So he was like, in essence, I was not only bringing up the voices of the choir and the instruments in the symphony and the orchestra, I was also bringing up all the voices behind me when I raised my hands. He's like, that was a once in a lifetime. I'm never going to have that again. So it's just like stuff like that is incredible. And I think it was a great documentary showing the process of making art and something so painstaking. And I'm actually very proud of Sony for putting it out. And I know you the way that you said this, Grant, about like what is to be believed is because I was like, I thought it was like a very strong, what am I trying to say?
Transparent, I think.
Yeah, it was a very transparent documentary because it didn't shy away from kind of possibly portraying Corey in a somewhat negative, i.e. stress inducing. The dude definitely induced stress in people. And people talked about like, yeah, I had to sacrifice like going to my kids' games and I had to sacrifice doing this. And I mean, there's a conversation to be had about like what we as artists sacrifice so that we get to work in our art, but shouldn't we have normal hours like everybody else and, yada, yada. But it definitely didn't shy away from talking about that, of talking about like, yeah, I forget her name, but so Shannon was saying I can't talk about it, and that's real. It's real. And watching Corey's reaction to the first reviews after 5 years of work and everything, and he goes and he looks at the first couple of reviews and he just breaks down crying. That's real, And I was actually very impressed that Sony decided to upload this on their channel for free. And of course, it's like a hype thing too, but I really enjoyed it. And I thought that it was a good move and really also just showcased what making an amazing video game actually entails. Play testing. It's not just, when you think about it, it's not just the environments. It's not just the characters. It's not just that. In the game, you play as both characters kind of, right? But there are so many different like puzzles and items and things that you have to collect and do, and there's a person for every aspect of that. So yeah, I thought it was a great documentary and really, really did a good job of showing all parts of making video games.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Katie, how do you feel about it?
I really enjoyed it. I, like Chris said, we both really got chills at that moment when the orchestra was playing. And then I think like the most rewarding moment of the entire documentary was seeing him like emerge out of the black and everybody just like freaking out over live stream in person. I feel like that experience is similar if you're any sort of creative person or even not necessarily a creative, you've just been working on something for a really long time, and maybe you do have some sort of like audience backing you, but it's like such a surreal moment to like bring that out and have people have such a genuine, excited response. That was so huge. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even imagine what that feels like. It's something I think everybody works to have. I thought it was really interesting. I had told Grant to read this book tomorrow, and it's about these two friends who reconnect after a long time and start to build a video game company together. And I found a lot of the parallels. I think you guys should read it. It's really interesting. And I think it was the first thing I really read that just highlighted people and how game or really any sort of art that you can create really can take over your life. And I think this documentary showed the same thing. And I think it's also a really interesting mix of like the corporate and the artistic, because here we have something that's like very, very much like a passion project for all these people that work on it. But like every day they come to an office, every day they'll leave the office. There is sort of like a weird sterile part of it where everybody's in these cubicles. They move from a larger office. They're working on this thing. They're all different like teams. I remember there was a part where Corey said, and they were in the conference room, like, we have 3,000 bugs. It was like 3,600 something, I think. And they're like, if this sounds like your team, like raise your hand or something like that. And it's so interesting how the idea of like teamwork in the corporate setting, we do have to use these same practices in artistic situations. I mean, one of my friends works at Apple Originals, and you go into her office and it looks like an office. And it's like, okay, it's really crazy that these people are also putting out all of this like really creative, exciting content. But like there is the corporate side that needs to maintain and keep the lights on, I guess. Yeah, there's something really exciting about watching all of this work go into this thing. And then when it finally happens, you feel like as an audience member, you're a part of watching that because you just see them like painstakingly go through it. But I had a question for you guys. Is it normal? I don't know if you guys would know this, but I was very confused when they were like, yeah, we were working towards this like 10-minute playthrough for E3. Now we got to build the rest of the game. I'm like, is that normal for creators to do that?
No. Their
that stressed me the fuck out.
Yeah, that approach is incredibly ambitious. That presentation is probably one of the best E3 presentations I've ever seen. It had they opened with God of War. That they had a lot of great announcements in that show. But yeah, it's not only is it crazy to make an announcement, just dropping it, just going, hey, we're making this and showing it in engine, but then going into gameplay, that's completely unheard of. People like that almost never happens. I can think of one other game that's done that.
I don't think that's what yes, but I think my question is more, do they usually present that much without being further along in the creation of the game? Because they were like, yeah, we only created this amount, was kind of how they presented it. And then they finished the rest of the game. Like, I would almost think you would wait until the next E3 to showcase that, because isn't that, I mean, and it worked out. Like, it's a risk that they took and it worked out. But I was almost like, holy shit, they don't have much of this game yet and they're presenting it. And like, can you promise these dragons? Can you promise these things? That's more of my question. Yes,
Great
Chris.
points.
No, yeah, sorry. I wanted to jump in because I think there's a difference between having. I think we need to be clear about what they were saying when they said that they needed to make the rest of the game. All of the story beats, all of the mechanics, the potential environments, and everything was already mapped out. You know what I mean? Like, the entire game was there. They had it planned. They had various levels in, like, not fully designed, but they had levels in mind, beats in mind, moments in mind. And so the rest of the game didn't need to get created in that sense. Like, there wasn't like, we just made this and now we have to figure out what the rest of this game is about and like what other levels there are going to be and like what other quests and if this dragon is actually going to be in it or not. Because I had this moment where I was like, was there a dragon?
There's a dragon.
There's a dragon.
There's a dragon. I was like, wait, there was a dragon? There was a dragon. And the moment that I saw it in it. So, but to get to how I want to answer your question.
Yeah.
It's like.
Sorry, there's like a little bug in here.
Get it.
Ooh. I don't know where it went. It like comes close. Okay, continue.
Is that yeah?
it's
They probably had all of that mapped out in their heads. Not even in their head.
Sorry.
Now activated the thumbs down.
For our audio listeners, unlike his normal thumbs up emoji that showed up, it was a thumbs down. So we had to make
I don't know
sure
what
we
I did wrong
that.
today, Mo. That was a really brutal.
Mo was just thinking of a thumbs
He was
down.
just like L take, Chris.
Just
L
Fact
take.
checking you, yeah.
just L.
But yeah, no, they probably had all of that like in storyboards, drawings planned out, and we're still in process of building it. But yeah, I think what they meant to say is like, so now we have to make it all look that good, feel that good, have the same weight impact across the board.
Yeah.
So in the way that I
think it's still a risk, though, is what I'm
it's a
saying.
huge
Oh, it
risk.
is.
Like I
Yeah.
kind of wish, I
risk.
kind of was like, oh, why didn't you guys finish this before you presented? It's like
Oh, that's normal.
half
Marketing.
the movies.
But that's so normal in video games. Are you
Yeah,
kidding
that
me?
actually,
But I would
there's a
think
term
it's
for
like
that.
a movie trailer. Like, wouldn't you take the finished movie and like?
I don't even think movie trailers, because
They
there are
don't.
so many times where there's like stuff in trailers that doesn't happen in the movie. So it's as information is coming and you have things to put out. As Grant, I'm going to turn it over to you, but it's marketing. You got to get you got to start drumming up excitement for it.
I guess, but I feel like it's almost like, okay, yes, you storyboard, yes, you do all of this, but it's almost like animating this, like having all of that together is almost like filming. And I feel like when you have a movie trailer, yeah, some stuff might not end up in the movie, but it's filmed, like it occurred.
Yeah.
And it could be cut out. Well, I feel like this, I was like, holy how are they presenting this 10 minutes of gameplay? And then they're like, yeah, we took a year and a half to make this, and then we got to take the other year and a half to make the rest of it. And like Chris said, yes, I understand the storyboarding, like so much stuff was in place, but like, what the like I genuinely was like,
Yeah, this is actually really normal. And the reason being, well, a good example in film is Mad Max, the newest one. Greg Miller, is
seen
that his
it yet.
name? George Miller.
George Miller.
He said that his final cut wasn't done until 2 weeks until the movie came out. So this is what happens. The creative process, it needs the time until it release date, and they try to do it as quickly as until it's done. They want to get it out as fast as it's done, but you need to be able to market it too. People need to be excited for the game for when it is out. So this is what something is called the vertical slice. So if you look at a game like a pie, like if you're cooking a pie, it has to cook all the way through, right? So there are various stages of cooked. But a vertical slice is taking a very small slice of that game and cooking it all the way through. And then showing this is what it will look like the rest of the game, because this part's done, but we're still cooking the rest of it. It's a very normal way to show off, like, this is what we're going to do. And they always have disclaimers like, this is early in development gameplay, subject to
pre-alpha
change.
gameplay,
Like,
you know.
so it's mostly just to give you the idea of what it is, because they're not able to.
okay, that makes more sense to me. And then it was released 2 years later, right? Wasn't it like?
Yeah.
Complete sidebar.
Is that normal?
I want to start referring to when somebody gets like way too high as being a vertical cut, because they are totally cooked. They're just like cooked.
Ha ha.
Slice.
Anyway, we can cut that. We can
Biggest eye roll, and my eyes rolled to the back of my head and like down through my stomach.
I'm so sorry.
Ugh. Yeah, me too.
I think it has been normalized. Another game that did this, I think, was Cyberpunk. It got showed off, except in the case of Cyberpunk, the game that actually came out was very different than the initial gameplay that they, like the vertical slice that they showed. And so that's like a counterexample to God of War, where actually they changed a ton of stuff.
Watch
and
Dogs. Watch Dogs from Ubisoft was huge like that. That was, I
A lot of
remember when
Ubisoft games did that.
Yeah, Ubisoft was like, that's why
Is
it got.
Ubisoft still around?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're going to be releasing a new Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And a new Star Wars game.
And Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. But they were very notorious for showing gameplay, and then when the game finally came out, it looked not like completely different, but there were major things that just like for Watch Dogs, everybody was super hype about it because there seemed to be some kind of like interactive crowds and
The visuals were
the
insane.
visuals were insane,
Yeah.
and like you were a hacker, so you could control certain things. And so when you
What is this one called again?
Watch
Dogs.
Dogs.
And when you activated, like you could use your phone to like hack into like the lights,
mainframe.
like the traffic lights.
Yes.
But you would hack into the traffic lights so that yours turned green, but then the other ones turned red. And so all of a sudden there was just like, whoa, everything, what's going on? So cars were like crashing into each other, but then people got into the actual game and found that it was nothing like what they showed in that gameplay. It was not at all like anything like
They're
it.
doing an adaptation
For
are?
TV.
My God, what a
for
choice.
For Watch Dogs?
Dog. Yeah.
You remember Watch Dogs? One of the most successful games. Honestly, you know what?
The guy that was
Maybe it'll
just
be
in
good.
the new Hunger Games.
I'm honestly okay. I am okay with them taking bad video games and making good series as opposed to taking good video games and making bad series.
That is
so.
fair.
You know what? Take it, do with it. I'm not attached to it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like, who's going to watch it, though? Like,
Dogs.
yeah, they like
Dog.
completely on that series. Like, Ubisoft, I don't think they're making any more Watch Dogs games.
God,
After
no.
Legion kind of failed, they stopped.
I can't believe
it
they made a
that
second
bad?
one.
I know. It wasn't bad. It was just really generic. It
Super
was like
generic.
GTA 5 with like a tiny twist, maybe. But the driving was worse. Like everything about it was mostly worse.
The driving was so terrible.
Yeah, it was not good.
I played a little bit of it. I didn't buy it. My friend had like I wonder if I hold on.
What's he gonna do?
He's not coming to me
He's going to pull out a dog and we have to watch it.
or game.
In college had pre-ordered it. And he gave me
That's a
his,
terrible idea.
like very nice.
Oh
like,
wow.
Like it's actually like a really nice case of Watch Dogs. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I heard about this. Yeah. Was it really as bad as people made it out to believe? And he was like, I had a good time playing it. And so then I played it. Wait, how much did he pay? The receipt's still in it.
That reminded me of the Misfits band.
Oh no,
logo.
he just bought this at an exchange for $16.87.
Oh, nice.
So never mind, he didn't pre-order it. That's slanderous.
It is, yeah.
But it includes the
That's
game.
fucked up
course,
of him.
But it also includes the original game's soundtrack
Oh.
on CD.
Well, they
as
did have some
well.
good songs in the radios of
Oh,
that game.
I didn't. I wasn't. I've
Vampire
never, I-
Weekend was on that radio. It was
No
pretty good.
shit.
No way.
Yeah.
No
Wait.
shit.
No
Shit.
shot.
No doubt. No diggity. No
dip.
doubt.
When did it come out? The game.
2014?
No way.
Probably
no,
earlier.
Pretty sure.
Way.
13 or
Okay,
14?
The soundtrack. Whoa, the soundtrack is stacked.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
a
14,
decade
yeah.
ago.
I was right.
These are Wu-Tang, Vampire Weekend,
Yeah. They had great songs for the
Public
for
Enemy,
the radio.
Smashing Pumpkins.
But they did what GTA 5 did.
And then you
they
had to
did
be
what,
driving the car, and that was just a
Yep.
shitty experience. So I
Cudi.
never listened to the radio.
they did what
So
GTA 5 did, which is they just licensed good songs from other people.
Shut up, man.
Martin
Good
South
Girls
has
Gone
money.
Bad. Or
Oh,
isn't
wow.
it Good Girls Go Bad?
Yeah.
I know you're
But
tired.
yeah, it was the marketing
Girls
was a
Go
big
Bad.
part of it because they have pressure from the executives at Sony to not only make a good game but to announce the release date because shareholders care about that because
Yeah,
consumers
yeah.
then like start placing pre-orders and stuff like that, and to get them hyped you got to go to E3 because at the time E3 was still like a huge opportunity for game developers to actually get the
It's
word
huge.
out because they hadn't started going direct to consumers that much yet. Like you remember that clip where Shannon from 2006 was saying like,
Yeah.
oh, E3 is a big opportunity for media to get a glimpse of what's going on. Nowadays, like Sony and all the other big companies, they have their own like state of play and Nintendo Directs and Xbox showcases. E3 died, and we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But at the time, like E3 was the one moment in a year where you can have the most eyeballs on whatever the making next and like get everybody hype.
I absolutely loved E3, despite it being cringy. It was really fun.
Totally. Wait, have you gone? Did you go?
No, but I did watch every year. That was
Me
my
too.
tradition.
Yeah.
For 2016, which is the one that this one was at, I went to like they showed a showing live at a local theater.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it was super sick. And like that year was stacked. I'll show you guys
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
it was
please,
crazy. Just
God of War.
Sony's presentation was insane.
Yeah.
Oh, The Last Guardian. I never got to
Days
play
Gone, The Last
Yeah,
Guardian.
Horizon Zero. That was when that got showed off.
Oh my God.
What an
that.
insane year!
So for listeners who are not doing the video, so Mo's kind of running us through the stacked announcements at E3 2016, and
Yeah.
we had God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. We had Detroit,
The Last Guardian.
The Last Guardian, Last
Days
Guardian.
Gone.
I don't know why I went into a full Boston.
Guardian.
Last Guardian.
Last
Detroit,
Guardian.
Become Human. Oh yeah, Resident Evil 7. Was Resident Evil
VR.
7
I think the
out
game
or
was
just
already out.
VR? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and like that's the year they announced PSVR and like
Oh,
a bunch
wow.
of these games.
Wow.
It's like
And then Crash was back. They announced Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare rebooting the series. Yeah.
Death Stranding.
Death
oh my
Stranding.
god! And then Spider-Man. Holy fuck! This year was amazing.
Yeah, that was a really crazy year for video games. And Katie's like,
Yeah. I'm
This
like,
was quite literally the best showcase of any E3.
And they
it
got
was
to
the
open
strongest
it.
I'd ever seen. Yeah.
yeah. And like
did you watch it?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that year?
totally.
Wow.
I did.
did.
I remember. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind with that reveal of Kratos is the history behind it. Is that, like they said, Kratos was kind of in the dumps. Like his last game didn't really do that well. Nobody really super liked it. From my perspective, at the time, God of War was pretty much out of conversations of games. Like Halo is now. Like people like Halo,
Yeah.
but it's not really relevant right now. It was very not relevant. And so most people thought they probably, like, maybe they'll work on a God of War, but no one's really thinking it will be a thing. That's not going to happen. So when it did get revealed, we were all like, oh my God, God of War is a thing and it's real and they're still making it and it looks great. It was just completely unexpected.
And there were no leaks. Like this
None.
is not like today where you hear about everything like a week before any of it happens. No leaks. And then the cinematic of Kratos appearing turns into fucking gameplay.
Yeah.
And the graphics look so good that at
And
first you're like
people-
in disbelief. There's no way this is just gonna be gameplay. And then
Yeah.
he plays
Yeah.
through it. And you're like, what?
I think also they were probably really psyched about the dad beard that he got.
oh yeah, no, there were so many
Like-
comments that were just like, oh my God, his beard. Wait, whoa.
Everybody was like, Kratos!
Halo-
And I was like, he looks nice in that beard.
He
He's
do.
like,
He was wearing that beard. Yeah. If Halo
was.
got a resurgence like that, like I would be so okay if we didn't hear anything about Halo for like
Yeah.
another 5 years. And then all of a sudden we get a real new entry into the Halo franchise made by people who really care about Halo and what makes Halo Halo.
yeah.
Um,
The
because-
Infinite trailer had me hyped. But
Dude,
Me too.
I know,
I
dude.
loved it.
when I watched the Infinite, I was like, this feels like a return to what makes Halo Halo. And then I played it and I'm like, you know, like it had so many great aspects to it, but it just missed the mark. Like it really missed the mark in terms of like I guess the story or like what makes a Halo story. The main baddie didn't really feel all that crazy bad to me. But then again, the Halo baddies there was always a couple baddies in the Halo verse,
Baddies.
you know. But there was seriously because there was just the Covenant, and then there was the hierarchy of the Covenant. And in fact, in the first game, it wasn't even like a single entity. It was just the Covenant and the Flood, right? And then we got to know who was behind the Covenant and the Flood and the Gravemind and the prophets, you know. But they were just pieces of the whole. And you didn't get monologues from them all the time. They were just way in the background and you had to fight your way to them. And I feel like in Halo Infinite, it was just like, here's the
Yeah.
bad guy. He's going to be monologuing at you because that's what they do now. And then you got to go find him and kill him.
Yeah, I think
Come
Halo needs a
to-
come to Jesus moment. Like God of
do.
War, the new God of War is way different than the old ones. Like so different.
do you mean 2018? Because
yes.
I just looked up Ragnarok. You can't play on Steam yet. I
Not
thought
yet.
it was
It's
out.
coming in September.
Yeah.
So
But
did it
it's on
come out
PS5.
or it's just?
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, so it
Yeah.
came out in 2022. So Chris and I also had watched a video because I was like, okay, I need some background on when these video games came out. And it was this guy and like what was the sort of lore because I had never played them. And Chris was like, yeah, I'm like kind of unclear of like the older games because he had just played this one, right, Chris?
No,
You
yeah,
hadn't played the
I've
older-
only
yeah.
played God of War 2018. My friend from high school played God of War. I was never allowed to because it was too violent. It was violent and bloody.
Yeah. So we watched this video that was kind of a deep dive, and the guy kept cutting between. He was showing gameplay from like he would go back to, I don't know, it was like the third game, and then he would go back, and I was confused on the timeline, but he was saying when the games came out and everything. What was that?
I think that's me. I think somebody was just riding down the street on a little motorbike.
Oh,
of
that
some
was
kind.
so annoying. That sound. I heard it too. I thought someone was like sawing something.
Well, basically, we were watching a story so far because I hadn't played the game, so I was like, "Yeah, how does he end up in Norse?" Like, I remember from the game that he just was like fleeing Sparta and everything like that in Greece. But I was like, "Wait, was his wife, aka the mom of Atreus, was she important in the last game? Was she in any?" And she wasn't. She wasn't.
Nope.
You don't. But that's what's beautiful about it is that you really don't need to play the other games to enjoy it and understand it in that way. So
Yeah. No, it's the earlier God of War games pre 2018 wildly different. Didn't really focus on story, but when they did, it was very plot. It was very much like I need to kill this god and then this god, or like revenge, or like more simplistic stories. But this was very much a departure for that, and I feel like what you were talking about, Christian. I think Halo could really use a come to Jesus moment where it still feels Halo, but breathes new life that feels good and new. But yeah.
Katie, as far as dates go, 1, 2, and 3 came out 2005, 2007, and 2010. And
yeah,
the-
there was
the
like a
other-
whole
yeah.
timeline of like all these like offshoots too.
Yeah, the
that
offshoots
series
didn't
got
do so well.
milked.
But,
They
yeah.
got-
Yep,
yeah,
it did.
I think that was the other issue is that as is off with the games that were coming out in the early 2000s that were maybe games also from like the 90s as well, because I referenced Ratchet and Clank or perhaps like Crash Bandicoot as an example. There's always an offshoot. So there's the first game, then there's the second game, then there's the second game racing, then there's, you know what I mean? Like there's so like people, the game companies were like afraid to make new IP for a multitude of different reasons. So it's just like, well, what do we have? What can we make with it? And then just like milk it.
It's expensive to make a new IP, and it's a big gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even in this documentary, you guys remember they were developing something called Internal 7. And after 3 years of pre-production, they did the layoffs and they cut the game. And that's like, for developers, that sucks really badly.
Not that for layoffs. Yeah, that was
Sorry,
something
yeah.
I got confused. Like when we were talking about layoffs, Chris and I had to go
Yeah.
back and we were sort of like, okay, what happened here? But then
Basically,
yeah.
they had like 2 sort of studios internally. One of them was developing this new IP. One of them was working on God of War. Then they cut one and like brought 110 of their employees to work on God of War. But the employees that worked on that game for 3 years and then were unable to ship that game, they now have nothing to show on their resume, which really sucks. And that's one of the like tough parts of working on a game for a long time and then not being able to ship it. Like
Yeah,
when
a
you're
lot
in
of the industry is based on what you particularly have worked on, not necessarily what you've shipped, because it's so totally out of your control a lot of times if a product is going to ship or not.
Yeah. I feel very new to talking about this space for sure. I feel like you guys are more experienced or knowledgeable, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting to learn more and more about, because I think it's like one thing. I think people didn't really take video games seriously as like a profession or as an industry. It is super profitable. It is super engaging and exciting. I mean, I went to NYU and they have a game design school
cool.
within the art school. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But I feel like it's become like maybe the generation above us that really started to take it seriously and see it as something that would be really profitable and actually like is really meaningful as a job, as a career going forward, because I mean, you can find a ton of success with it and it's not going anywhere. But I think watching that reveal of Kratos in the game with the symphony, not the symphony, the orchestra, and everything. That's just a universal feeling, I think, of any sort of creator. And like I was saying, even if you're not an artistic person, just having something that you've worked so hard on just being released into the world. And I think that's something that like anybody watches that and it's like completely just chills. Like I truly, Chris and I kept like comparing our arms for little goosebumps. We were like,
my hairs were just like standing on end. I mean, I'm really easily affected by music.
It also helps to have Icelandic singers. Like Icelandic is fucking
choir
sick.
is really good.
Oh, I'm literally just getting chills right now thinking about it. I mean, like that's the power.
Zooming
of
on the
this game.
chills.
And as I was like watching this documentary, my mind starts going back to all the different aspects of this game because that 10-minute intro is such a small portion of it. And just and as I was playing it, I was like what else are they going to do? Like they got to wrap this story up and then something else would happen. And then there's like a new thing and a new thing and a new thing. And I mean, all in all, it was just an incredible experience to play it. And Katie would come into my office and be like, Christian, you've been playing for like 3 hours straight. I need you to stop and I need you to come to bed. And I'm like, but there's more to unpack here. And I need to I was doing like the mists of, oh my God, I forget it. But there's like,
have you guys played it?
I haven't yet.
Oh, Mo.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta.
have to.
My partner
I
is
haven't
playing
played
it for the first time and she's brand new to games too. And she is loving it. That game is so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was watching it with Chris, and I think like as someone who grew up just really playing Sims and not like these really advanced games, I'm watching it and I'm like, how have we gotten here? It's so visually impressive. Like I really was watching it and it came out in 2018. I think Chris got it like last year. And I was like, this is what video games look like now? Like it's a little bit shocking because
and that's not even in Unreal Engine 5. Like you think that's like crazy?
I know.
We've been having leaps and bounds in graphics and
Look into Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
If you want to be really impressed.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm a big movie watcher. So like to see how movies have progressed in the last like 10 years is super crazy.
Sure.
But yeah, I was blown away.
Same. And like when this game was released, that's when games I think were starting to be taken more seriously by the general public, but also the film industry. And Sony was starting to find its identity as like a company focused on narrative-driven single-player games. And like it was just focused on writing and it was fully mocapped and acted. The music was incredible. It felt like an interactive CGI movie. Like I totally agree with what you're saying, Katie.
Yeah, and the actors were like, this felt like a movie to go through. I thought it was really beautiful to see, because Chris and I talk about acting a lot, obviously, because we're both actors, but to see an actor that I loved mid-90s, who the young kid, he's the star of. And I loved Killing of a Sacred Deer, and he was in that as well. So to see him do this totally different role and how exciting, like the different props he got from his friends and people that were jealous, like
that was
such a
lovely,
crazy because it's like, I think what's interesting with video games and animation is you're not as easily identifiable, and that's why a lot of our like big animation voiceover stars are almost anonymous. Like you can know them by name, but I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head what, like, I maybe have seen like a few photos of Patrick Warburton, or like who's the other woman that's like in a ton of stuff, Chris? We talked about her recently.
Tara Strong.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Tara Strong. Like I couldn't be like, oh, I know exactly what she looks like. I saw a video of her recently. And I think as an actor, as a creator, it's like, it's similar, I guess, with developing video games too, is like you kind of operate anonymously and you are sort of you aren't center stage, and to see and to have your voice be a part of it, it's like, yeah, you're not going to get this like immediate fame that comes with like being part of a huge video franchise. But like I have a friend who did a voiceover for a video game, and like she has a ton of people on TikTok that are like obsessed with her and like asking her all these questions and like meeting her at Comic-Con. Like it's really fucking cool. But it is kind of a fun way as an artist, I guess, to like fly under the radar.
Yeah.
But to still be part of something that's really
because
fun.
if the character model that they use Christopher Judge, the actor for Kratos, if they used his actual likeness,
I was
all you would
dying
get
when
is
they were
like, oh, this is a woke game now.
Yeah, oh, don't even get me
Yeah,
started.
which would be so
That'll be my
fucking
green room
obnoxious.
topic. Yeah. For
No,
real, though.
but I died when Corey's like, he's fucking huge, or he's
Yeah,
really big.
It
I was
really
like,
helps that
yeah.
the dude is just a brick shithouse. He's insane. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
like they were talking, they're like, we couldn't really find a Kratos and blah, blah, blah. And then this guy starts talking, and me and Chris are like, whoa.
I had seen interviews
The
with
voice
him
alone.
Before. He's an incredible guy.
Yeah.
He was in
Yeah.
freaking Stargate.
Yeah.
Why do
That's
I
actually what I wanted to bring up.
recognize you?
Yeah.
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 Corey is actually a
He's-
huge fan of
Oh,
Stargate.
Stargate? That makes
Yeah.
so much sense.
I
Oh,
followed
that's so funny.
Corey Barlog, and I've just seen what he talks about, and he has nerded out about Stargate several times. So I think it's perfect that he ended up getting Christopher Judge on for the game. I love that. It's so cute.
It's so, it sounds so fun. I also wanted to bring up, I think it's like really interesting to see these people work on this thing for 5 years, because I think 5 years is really a lot of time, especially
Yeah.
as you get into adulthood. You're like, holy shit, I could spend. Who was that guy that was like, yeah, I started at the company and I've worked here for 5 years and it hasn't even been released yet. And it's like,
Yeah.
this is the one thing he's worked
Yeah.
on. And I think it's so rewarding, but it's also so taxing in ways. Like, think about what happened 5 years ago. I mean, 5 years ago for me was pre-pandemic and I was still in college. Like, that's
yeah.
crazy how vastly the world has changed. But I think when you see, I mean, Chris and I have been obsessed with Dune. We've been talking about Dune a lot because we love Denis. I finally watched Blade Runner 2049,
Ooh.
which we should talk about. I'm very excited to talk about that at some point. But to see how much work gets put into this, you really have to wake up each day and be like, okay, holy we're at it again. And then you like, yes, they do have weekends off and they should have that time off, but to really sort of wake up and be able to put in time every single day, because if
How
you
long
don't,
does a movie like Dune take to make?
They filmed for
It was
like
filming in-
months.
yeah, they didn't film for the whole year though. They filmed in
No.
2022.
So
Like 8 months or something.
Okay.
feature length
yeah, but
films,
pre-production is like
the,
a lot.
the most
So I can-
happens in probably before and after filming. Filming for feature length films usually wouldn't go much longer than 8 to 9 months. I don't think I've really ever heard of a movie filming for like a year straight. That's a lot. That's
Unless
a lot
it's
of
like
money.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, because you have to think about the fact that they're paying the actors, the director, all of the gaffers, the grips, the camera ops, the camera.
We're all
the DP.
unionized.
They're all unionized. They're all getting a
Yeah.
like the best boys. Everybody on set is getting a daily rate. And so if you're filming for 365 days times however much it's going to cost every single one of those people on set, it's just like, that's not going to happen. So they get it done
yeah.
Oops.
as quick as possible.
I can give you guys pre-dates that I found. I mean, Dune is different because they signed on to do at least 2 movies. So someone was hired for the screenplay, probably the first screenplay, April 2017. He was hired for both, Eric Roth. And then someone came on in November 2019 to focus on Dune Part 2. June 2020, it's a fully formed story in itself and places to go, especially you were basing it off of a book, so that is different. February 2021, they created a full treatment for the sequel, so that basically like a written, what's the best way to describe this? Like a full
Script?
Chris. No,
Like a treatment is more of like a full deck, as in like
yeah,
various pieces of concept art.
Like a pitch deck.
prose
essentially,
summary kind.
yeah.
It's like longer than an outline and gives like directorial things.
It's less of a pitch deck and it's more of like a how do I say? Yeah, I don't know how to describe a treatment. It's literally like you have all of the pieces outlined. So
Okay.
all of like the lighting.
but it's more filled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, a detailed outline.
Denis finished writing the screenplay in March 2022. They had cast people by then, I think. March 22, they got cast. Somebody got added. They got added in like 2023. Shooting began in July 2022. It looks like they finished maybe like November.
Okay.
But that's not
Okay.
even, that feels like so short.
Well,
And then it was
first
finally
Dune-
released.
The first Dune was only filming from March to July of 2019. That's only 5 months.
Okay.
Wow.
and then it released.
No, that's 4
like
months.
a year later.
If you include March, April, May, June, July,
I
5.
used 2021.
That was in 2019. Then 2021 is when it actually came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was also the strike and that affects, and then there's a lot of like publicity you do and stuff, but editing takes a long time. But I mean, like there can be films
And
that take
special
5
effects.
years to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And that
I
movie
mean,
has a ton of special effects.
Isn't there
of
going to be a Metropolis movie coming out that's taken like forever to make?
Oh my God. That'd be amazing.
I imagine
Have you
James
guys seen the
Cameron's
original?
Avatar movies have taken forever.
Yeah. That's James Cameron.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
know if he's a good example.
Yeah, exactly. Anything, but like on average, stuff with no
Oh,
CGI.
Megalopolis.
That's the
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Megalopolis.
Yeah.
Not
that's what it is.
Metropolis. It's a different one.
No, but Christopher Nolan's the same way. It's like it's a big undertaking for those movies, like big
Yeah.
blockbuster,
Big
huge scale.
budgets. Well, is everyone good with moving into tangents?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just want
Yeah.
to say one last thing. I love when they don't cut right after the answer and they keep recording the person
Oh,
speaking,
yeah.
and then you see like the snap out and like their facial expression after whatever they were going to give to the camera. It's like always revealing of what's underneath. I love
Yeah.
when documentarians do that.
Yeah, no, I think that's super cool, especially by PlayStation.
I feel like I've been seeing that a lot more when people are like, especially because I've been watching a lot of true crime documentaries when something gets like really emotional and they're like, okay, do you need to stop? And they're like, no, I'm okay. And then they like walk away or they're like recovering and you see all of that.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
feels
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
more real and personal. I think it's interesting. I think it's a style that we'll probably see a lot more as time goes on.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Chris and I recently watched another documentary or docu-series that I think we should cover, and there was a lot of that.
So now we're going to head into our tangents, where the things that we thought about while watching the movie or things that we wanted to discuss through watching it that we have prepared. Do we want to start with Katie, our resident non-gamer?
I don't think we should start with me.
No?
I
I
think
can
we
also
should start
start.
with one of you guys. Yeah, you guys should start for
Okay.
sure.
I have a couple things to say. First of all, I have a brag. Because Corey Barlog was on Twitter and he did an AMA, and then I asked him a question and he answered.
Show us.
Wow.
Show us.
Show.
I don't even know where it is. But
Did he say?
Wait, you don't
"That's
have
a
it
really good
framed in your
question"?
room?
I do not, unfortunately, but it is pretty cool that happened. I'd have to find it. But anyway, the thing I wanted to bring up with this particular documentary is that I kind of alluded to it maybe being how truthful is it? How much can you really trust kind of deal. There's another documentary that I think it would be great for us to watch at some point. We don't need to anytime soon, but they released another one about The Last of Us 2, the production of Last of Us 2. And rewatching through that, yes.
Okay, because they're actually making a show for.
They are,
the
yes.
second. Yeah.
But watching that, I got a distinct impression that they were leaving stuff out for publicity's sake. So like, for instance, a lot of game studios post God of War have gotten a lot of heat for crunching their employees. And for people that don't know what that is, like if you ever realize that you had a essay due tomorrow and you haven't started and you spend all night working on that stress, that constant work, the no breaks, that kind of feeling. Game studios are known for doing crunch for months at a time, maybe even years. Post this, the studio Rockstar was talking about, like employees at Rockstar for Red Dead 2 were talking about how some of the writers were pulling 100-hour work weeks. Like, it's not okay. BioWare has had stress casualties where people just fucking leave and then never come back. That's not normal. And I think what's most interesting about this documentary is that it kind of glorified crunch a little bit. And what I thought was most interesting about that isn't that funny that they're glorifying that this artist, all the sacrifice that they've been doing, that it was their choice that they sacrificed this. It wasn't our problem. They sacrificed this willingly for the art. And I think what's most interesting is that I don't think that art needs to suffer for your, like, I don't think one thing needs to suffer for another. Like, I don't think your life needs to suffer for your art, and I don't think your art needs to suffer for your life. I think both things can happen. And I find it interesting that, yes, this was super interesting to watch because crunch wasn't a hot topic at the moment. So when this did come out, it was just super illuminating as to how games are made. And it's super cool about that. But I think also what's so interesting is that the human sacrifice was looked as a good thing. Like, as like, what, look at how these like artists, like how amazing they are because they did it.
How Japanese of them.
Yeah, right.
I know, literally, I was thinking the same thing.
If I think it is cool. There's a whole video I'd love us to watch at some point that is about crunch, but the artistic work, the Marty O'Donnell, the composer of Halo, talked about crunch. He said that crunch happens. It always does. Like, you'll have an artist who's really jazzed about what they do, and they go, I said I was going to deliver this by the end of the week, but then stuff happens. You keep be like, oh, I can add this and this and this and this. Like, artists are excited people, but then all of a sudden it's 10 p.m. and you haven't shipped it yet, and you said you were going to. And so like that happens, and it's okay because people are excited. But it becomes then the managers have to go, you have not spent enough time at home. You need to go home. Like, that becomes important. So not to say that crunch is all bad. I think it pushes artists. I think it really helps you create some of your best work, but it needs to be in check. It can't be this, oh, I sacrificed my family for this. Like, it can't be that. I'd be curious to see what your guys' thoughts are coming away from seeing that human sacrifice through this documentary.
Yeah. I think actually that was what I wanted to talk about too, because I think we see it with the actors too, or at least one in particular. Christopher Judge.
The voice actor for Freya was saying that she was
talks
going through
about
a divorce.
Yeah,
might not necessarily be directly
I don't
related,
think it was
but
as I think she was talking about the divorce. It could have been because of her career. She didn't really go into it. I think Christopher Judge went into the most, where he like really sort of felt like he sacrificed spending a lot of times with his kids for his career. And I think there was a really beautiful moment where his kids were like, Dad, we get it. We understand. There is sort of like a provider thing we get there, or maybe it's a passion thing. I actually wanted to ask, what do you think? Well, I wrote down the question, can you accomplish big goals, achievements like this sort of game, maybe like a huge sort of movie, while being present with family? And what do we think would be the solution? Because we do have to remember what Mo brought up is like they added 100 so people from that other game, and they brought on all these people. So is hiring more people like the solution? Is like extending the timelines for these games? What does it look like? Is this something that's like very American? I think like the American way of like not a great work-life balance that we're slowly learning to get better at. Is that something that is very unique to us, or maybe even Japan, like we were talking about? I'm not really familiar with any like European made games, but I'd love to know if they have a similar work style, if they're really sort of pushing through these things. But I think as artists, a lot of times you do kind of go in like, I don't know, I was watching it, and sometimes I'm looking at these big movies and I'm like, Katie, you shouldn't have kids if you want to do this. I literally say that to myself. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you should have kids. Because I feel like it just at a certain point, unless you've reached a certain level that you want to be at, or you really feel like you can, if it really feels like a choice you want to make in tandem with your career, I don't know. For me, I'm sort of like, I don't know if I can bring someone else into the mix with that personally, because I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's a really hard thing to balance, but I wonder if there's a solution in sight that doesn't require sacrificing the quality of the game. And do we need to have this timeline for shareholders? Like, do we need to say like, this is when the game ships? I'm guessing so, but is there a way to be like, okay, we need more time? Really, like, what is the sort of relationship with shareholders and the studio? Are they saying we want the game in 5 years? Really? Or is it like, it's like renovation. I feel like it's always the thought I have is like, if someone says a renovation is going to be done by like January 2025, you should probably expect it by like June 2026. Like, it's never going to be the amount of time you think it's going to be, even if you estimate way more time, it's always going to take longer. So like, what if we are pushing these deadlines out really, really far so we don't see Cory Barlog basically having an anxiety attack anytime something's happening? I mean, he's going to about reception anyway, because he cares so deeply, and that I totally resonate with. But like, is it adding more people? Is it increasing the time you have? What do you guys think are the solutions? Because that was my sort of tangent in line with Grant's. Yeah, Chris?
Go for it.
And I'm not saying that I have a solution. I'm like, to me, it's just like, this is what happens when you mix art and capitalism. Because at the end of the day, it's not a matter of like, no, take your time, make the art good. It's, we've given you however many $1 million to make this thing, and we're still giving you more money. And eventually, because think about it, the money has to go to paying the artists, paying the rent on the building, paying the utilities on the building, right? That only covers a certain amount of time. So after that point, if you reach that point and you're not ready to ship something so that there's a return on investment, you're basically going to the people who are the investors on this thing and going, I need more money. I need another $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, however many $1 million. And we haven't even done the marketing yet for the game. That's the problem. The problem is, I mean, attach as many people as you want to it. That's a higher price tag, right? Because the problem is that there has to be a return on investment. It's not about the art. It's about the money, like fundamentally.
But then you should be asking for more money.
Well, yes, but I mean, this is economics. It's like, well, if you can do it for less, then do it for less. But also, it's a gamble. At the end of the day, for the game studios or whoever's the actual investor, it's a gamble for them to be like, I'm going to give you an infinite money. Here's a blank check, whatever you need.
Here's money.
Make the best game that you possibly can. There's no guarantee that game will be commercially successful and make back the money. Because that's the problem that we're running into is that the game studios are expecting that the game will be good enough to make enough money back to pay all of that and more. It's not just getting it back, it's profit. That's the problem. And here's my other part of that is, and it's kind of going into my tangent as well, is like, and maybe you touched on this a little bit too, Katie. Would the art be as good if there wasn't pressure? That's something that I think about all the time, is that the art that we hold as like high art, like good art, the art that we love and that makes us feel things, is talking about human experience. And human experience is struggle, right? If we suddenly lived in a world where, no, you just make the game. You don't have to worry about paying for your bills. You don't have to worry. Your house is paid for. Your food is paid for. Your clothes are paid for. Like, let's talk about a utopia for a second and say that all of that, because like that's really what everyone's freaking out about. It's like, well, I want to keep my job. That's why I crunch. I want to keep my job because I need to keep my job because I have bills to pay and I have children to feed and I have a home. It's just like, let's say all of that's taken care of and you just get to make your art. What do you make your art about to a certain degree? Because, you know, the documentary is called Raising Kratos because at the same time that they're building this game about a man who's raising a child, who's teaching him his own things about being a human being, they're all kind of a family. They keep saying that we're a family, we're raising each other. So it's a direct correlation. So that's one of the biggest things for me that I'm taking away from it is like, you could just give them infinite money and we could just be like making the art. But this is a philosophical question I ask myself all the time, is that would the art resonate as much if it wasn't kind of a struggle to make? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm not saying people shouldn't, I'm not saying that people should be like losing sleep and like freaking out and like having panic attacks and heart attacks and like burnout and all of that. But a little bit of pressure, like a deadline or whatever, there's lots of studies that say it's good for you. So it's, I think rather than saying no struggle, it's about what is the right amount of pressure? What is the right amount of struggle to make a good product, game, piece of art, all of that.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I don't mean no struggle. I just mean maybe adding some things that do make like day-to-day life in the industry easier. But I agree with you. I think a deadline is important. I think you could spend the rest of your life making the best game ever. And like, if you have nobody checking, especially gamers, like
Well, think about
Like you could
perfectionists.
literally just do, you could just
Corey
keep
is
going.
obviously a perfectionist.
Artists are perfectionists.
Artists in general are perfectionists because if you didn't have a deadline, if I didn't have deadlines, I'd never get anything done. I just wouldn't because I'd be like, well,
Yeah,
this can be
same.
better, or this could be better, or maybe this can be. Let me just adjust that, and then I'll
Or
probably.
I don't even need to
procrastinate.
touch it right now because
Exactly right, and I'll
Yeah.
push it aside. But this kind of goes into not. I don't want to step away from this tangent yet because people haven't had a chance to respond. But I have a tangent that's slightly related. So
I like that question, and it's the same thing that I asked myself when we watched the first documentary about Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Like, would he be just as great in a culture where they didn't care? There was not that much pressure to just like work all day and dedicate your life to work. And like, what would his sushi taste like if he went through therapy instead?
therapy sushi.
not good.
That's so funny. Therapy flavored sushi.
But I
Some
think I'm with
on the
you.
internet would be like, oh, it would come with like a trigger warning.
Come
my God.
mentioned.
Come mentioned. Stop. Wait. Hold on.
Neuron activated.
Hold on. It's cum time, everybody.
Welcome to the cum zone.
We've entered the cum zone. Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It is such a dangerous place.
Just so everyone knows, that
this
was not
podcast for a
edited.
woman.
I played that live. I had a drum kit and like a full brass band in the other room.
That was shocking. Anyway, Mo, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but here
No,
we
that
are.
was perfect. That was perfect. Yeah, I think I like how Grant and Chris put it. Like, yes, you can make great things even with some balance in your life. And it's not about removing the pressure entirely, but about finding the right balance. But I think we all agree that right now, up until now, like crunch for game developers has been a little too far on the side of pressure. Katie, to answer your question about like other places in the world and like how they're dealing with it, there's the studio called CD Projekt Red that made The Witcher and Cyberpunk, and in their first game, which was delayed like multiple times, so despite all that, they still had to crunch. They delayed the game like 4 times. And
4
they
times.
Still,
4 or 5, yeah.
yeah, and like despite that, like there was some major issues, but they, I guess, learned from that because when they made like an expansion to the game, they found ways to like cut back on that. And this was like 3 years after the game was, the original game was released. And this is a Polish developer. So it seems like it's a worldwide project. I'm not sure how often it happens in Japan, but if we were to extrapolate based on like our discussion of Japanese culture and Jiro Dreams of Sushi, I imagine it's fairly prevalent at Sony because Sony is a Japanese company. But it's also interesting because it's a Japanese company that has a subsidiary in the United States, and now they're basically like importing or exporting their cultural values of like mastery and craftsmanship and sacrificing your life to make amazing shit. But they're importing it into a culture that is completely different. And like Grant mentioned during the sushi episode that to look at whether or not something is mentally healthy, you have to look at the culture within where they're situated, right? And so maybe I don't know, Japanese people can tolerate more crunch than Americans.
You have another thumbs up moment.
Yeah, but I almost wanted to interject there. I don't think America is very different from Japan in that way. I think Japan focuses more on honor. Like I think like if you don't do a good job, you're dishonoring your family. But
Right.
like, I mean, like spending time in any European country, I go there and I'm like,
Oh
holy
yeah,
shit,
they
like,
have lives.
This is not as stressful.
Yeah.
Like you would literally go and like get a coffee and you would not have it in a to-go cup intentionally because they expect you to sit and enjoy it. Like it's here that very much people are like, go, go, go. And I think Japan, I think it's very similar cultures, but
That's
like
true, actually.
for why? I think America is like American excellence. They're like, oh my God, America is like the dream, the place to be. And I think Japan, it's more of like honoring your family, like honoring your community, blah, blah, blah.
Honoring yourself. Like they have
Yeah.
a level of it that's like, I'm doing this because I want to be good and nobody else needs to tell me that. I'm just doing it because, whereas in America, it really is
Yeah.
like, I think there's this driving force of, well, I got to do it
Capitalism.
because I want to make more money and then I can get the nice stuff. And it's like, it's very consumerist in that way.
Yeah.
And to answer your question about like solutions, this is not like a direct solution, but recently Xbox had its showcase, which is like very similar to the E3 Sony thing that you saw, except like it was Xbox's version. And one of the disappointments that I heard on like Twitter and on YouTube is that a lot of these games that were announced did not have release dates, or they didn't have specific release dates. I think that's actually, for the sake of like game developer sustainability, maybe a good thing. Like you announce a game and you get people excited for it, you're doing the marketing, and maybe you have an internal release date that you're working towards at the company, but you haven't like put public pressure on yourself to like ship a game by a specific date. And then like if you delay it, it's not a big deal because you haven't really like said that you were going to ship it. I wonder if like maybe Microsoft, which is known for its like work-life balance compared to other tech companies, is something that I wonder if that's something they've been thinking about. I don't know.
Do they have a new console coming out? Wasn't it? What was
Not
the last
announced.
Xbox that came out?
Series X and S.
Yeah, they announced some refreshes like with a more storage space and stuff that's coming out
about
this
it.
year, but
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah, but not
new.
to compete with PS5.
No,
Series
Xbox.
X.
Yeah, the Series X and S are direct competitors to the PS5.
But are they like in the mainstream in the same way?
Katie, really, are they actually competitors?
No,
Like,
I just
now.
like, okay, as an outsider
question.
perspective, growing up, like being in middle school, it was like a big thing for everybody to have an Xbox 360. And before
Yeah,
that, it
there,
was
there were
Wii.
major
Totally.
console wars
Oh
for
my
a
God.
while. Yeah.
Yeah,
love
and
the
now I
360.
think it's a PS5, and I think I when I asked that, I was gonna say, has there been anything since the 360? Because I just don't feel like people have been talking about it in the same way. But
I
again,
love that
I feel like I'm a lay person.
Well,
No,
But that's
perfectly
why it's so
accurate.
interesting. Yeah.
yes, it's a good you are a good, what's the word I'm
Indicator.
looking for? Thank you. It's a good indication of like kind of who won the battle in that way, because Katie knew about, and maybe it's just because she's dating me, so the data might be skewed. But it's like she's like, I knew about the Xbox 360 and I knew about the PS4 and I knew about the PS5.
No, I knew about that before you, because I
Okay,
think
I
like
wasn't sure.
there's
I wasn't sure.
no. It's just I think there's like a meme like, yeah, my girl got me a PS5, and like it's such a high price point that
yeah.
like a lot of people don't have it, and like one of my friends got her ex a PS5, like, and it was like I got him a PS5, and this is a big deal. And like Chris, I know you don't have a PS5, but you play on the PS4, you play on Steam, and like you're like, yeah, I could get the PS5. But it's a big investment. And I just feel like
it is, yeah.
I felt like Xbox kind of, sorry, nobody come for me. I felt like it was huge in the mainstream when I was like a teenager. And now it's like I don't hear about it. But it was like the same thing with PlayStation. I felt like PlayStation we didn't hear about when I was really young. It was like people had fucking GameCubes. Obviously, I had a Nintendo DS and I had a Wii, but then it was like the Xbox 360, and I was like, I don't even like. I'm just a girl, and I'm not saying girls can't play video games, but I was like, I really don't understand when I would go to friends' houses and see them play on the 360.
You're bringing up a really interesting point here. Sorry to interject. It's just like what actually sold well versus what we all remember is so
Yeah.
interesting. Because if you look
Yeah.
at the actual numbers, I know exactly what you're talking about. I had plenty of friends who had like Xbox 360 or PS1, PS2, PS3. My progression, and I think the perfect progression was PlayStation 1, 2, Xbox 360,
Yep.
PS4,
Yep.
PC. That's it. That's all you need.
Why does
But-
this sound like Star Wars? Like it's like
exactly.
this is the order in
It's-
which you
it's
watch
the
them.
tomahawk, or it's the chainsaw.
I forget what it is.
Oh, whatever. Anyway,
Machete. Is it machete?
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
the machete order of consoles. But yeah, I knew so many people where it's like when I was growing up, everybody that I was hanging out with, like when I would just like go to somebody's house, like a normie's house. Let's just throw out a blanket term because all of me and my friends who were definitely not neurotypical had like the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 or whatever. But you go to the normie house and it's like a Wii, you know. And I'm not saying that like that
I was
normies
the
only
normie
play-
house.
But it's like you had a Wii or you had a GameCube. I don't know what the correlation there is.
I think it was very, at least in my experience, it was very gendered. Like, I think like the
Sure.
boys that we knew
yeah.
had a 360, and the girls, like, I had a friend who was a twin and had a boy twin. So people would be over her house playing 360, but that's the only reason why she had it. And like my first experience with COD was like when I was in 7th grade, and my friend's like, let's play my brother's Black Ops. And he was like 4 years older. But I'm like, I'm not getting this at my house. Like,
Right.
there wasn't that much interest, but I think the interest came if like there was someone else in the house. But again, I know there's so many girls who have played it. It was just my own experience. It's like my friends were not interested unless it was already in the house. And they're like, yeah, I play with my brother sometimes. And like, that was cool, I guess. Yeah. But I think maybe computer is more accessible because you could have a computer, like anybody would have their computer and then they could get games. Maybe like Steam is more accessible in that way now, but.
To back you up on the PS5 versus the other Xbox thing, like there is some data to show that PS5 is doing far better than Xbox this generation.
Yeah.
I think
that
in
makes
general,
sense.
the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, in terms of like console sales, have like vastly outpaced Xbox's offerings for a little while now. I think with the Xbox 360 and the PS3, they were very evenly paced. I mean, the PlayStation 2 is kind of like unmatched in that way, or the PlayStation 1, I can't remember. But yeah, I think the PlayStation 2 is like the largest, highest grossing sales or like most sold console of all time. And it has definitely the library to back it up. There are more freaking games on the PlayStation 2 than like on any system. It's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting very off topic.
Oh,
but it's okay.
No, but
It's
like
okay.
that's the point.
Yeah, no, I know. I do. I'm just like looking at the time, and I'm like, oh, we should kind of
Yeah.
bring it back.
I wanted to chime in a little bit on both topics just for a little while. They're both massive topics. But Katie, I think what you're experiencing with like has Xbox made anything is perfectly accurate, because the 360 is the last time that Xbox and PlayStation were competitive.
Yeah, for real.
And the reason being was the Xbox One was announced as a fucking sports television box.
Oh, the Xbox One. When did
yeah.
that come out? That I
2013,
remember.
2013 or 2014.
And then the
One of those
Xbox
two.
360 came out like 2009.
Xbox 360, yeah, 2009 that sounds right. But either way,
That was just a guess.
Oh,
Oh, 2005.
oh wow, yeah, right, because
Whoa.
2006 was the PS3, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, a while ago. But when the Xbox One was announced, they went into entertainment, like it's the entertainment box, and they didn't really think about video games. Like they barely showed video games, and the video games that they did have were designed exactly the same as they were the previous generation. They just focused on multiplayer shooters. They didn't really focus on changing much. But then
Yeah.
PlayStation, on the other hand, was digging deeper into single player, more story focused experiences, which then capturing what gaming felt like to a lot of people. So then Xbox just didn't have time to recover from Xbox One, because nobody bought an Xbox One because they had like next to no exclusives. PlayStation had all of them. And then this next generation, Xbox is still feeling the effects of that, because PlayStation has a huge head start on them on exclusives. And Xbox, they're so far in the hole, it's hard to tell if they're ever going to be able to pull themselves out, because it's so expensive to have studios that are making boundary pushing art. So there's that. Xbox seems to be doing better right now. Their showcase was really good, but it remains to be seen. On the crunch aspect of things, it's hard to know what the right answer is. And I think there's a few things that can be tried. Like some people are talking about unionizing as an option. So unionizing
They haven't already?
They haven't. They still have.
Well, I mean, like I can
interesting.
understand, because union busting is huge in corporations. I mean, look at Blizzard. I think like they tried to have unions in Blizzard, and Blizzard was like, ha ha ha, nice try. So yeah, but no unions, 100
No unions, yeah.
million %. Every industry needs a union.
Yeah. Unions probably need to happen, but that's an option. Another thing is more realistic deadlines. Not saying that there isn't pressure like you talked about, but more realistic, to where you don't have to crunch for months, because that's just poor management. Then also on the subject of management needs to be watching the workload of the people below them and going, are they working too much? Like, what's actually happening here? The work life of them needs to be important. And on the topic of can there be great things when there isn't crunch, the answer is yes. There are 2 studios that I can think of right off the top of my head that have made it outspoken that they do not crunch. Nintendo. Animal Crossing was delayed to avoid crunch. And that game blew the fuck up. And that's a great game. Another studio that does it is Respawn, the people that make Apex Legends. People criticize them for not putting out enough content, but the reason they don't put out a lot is because they don't crunch their employees. So it can happen. And Nintendo, I think, is a great example because they make some of the best video games. Still somehow
Breath of the Wild is like a perfect example.
It's so good, and Mario Odyssey was also so incredible.
I played the hell out of Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
That's exactly how they want you to say it. It's
I
so
love the
interesting
Nintendo
because
Oops. Sorry, go ahead.
that's really cool that it's a Nintendo and that it's not like necessarily a smaller studio that people are like, yeah, well, like Nintendo's a big deal.
Yeah.
But what I was
deal.
going to say, I would love for you guys to read that book tomorrow that I keep referencing. It is a longer book, but like it really, I think it maybe doesn't glorify crunch, but like the people that really sort of do well are in the book are the people that are sacrificing other parts of their lives. So I think in comparison to what we were seeing in this documentary, I was like, this is exactly how I pictured it. Like all these different little desks and everybody's collaborating, but they're like staying super late and like there is a sacrifice in their day-to-day lives. I don't even remember. Well, yeah, I don't want to spoil much, but like there is like an extreme sacrifice on their lives. I mean, they started making a game in college and that's how they progressed into it.
That's interesting because I wonder if to some extent the reason we glorify it is inherent in the art of storytelling about these things. Because if this documentary didn't have that, and if that book didn't have that, does it just feel like a chronological telling of what happened? And
Doesn't feel like much of a story.
Right. If there's no dark side, if there's no conflict, if there's no struggle, what's the actual story? Why is it interesting? What is
Well,
it?
I do think a lot of the struggle was coming back from people being tired of Kratos. I think it was like,
That's fair.
how do we refresh this game? I think, there's this simultaneous struggle of like, how are we going to put out this game? Like, I mean, they only were really delayed by a month. Like that could have been much worse if we were really focusing in the documentary on like crunch and everything. We did see it, but I think at least from my perspective, watching it again as like a lay video game person, like watching it was like the focus is getting people excited about the new generation of this game, like really sort of creating excitement around someone that people were tired of. Let's put them in a new location. Let's advance these graphics. Let's take our time with it. Let's bring in amazing voice actors. Let's create a new experience for these people under the moniker of God of War. Because like we said, creating new IP is a huge undertaking and it's expensive. It's probably going to take you a lot longer. But I think they were like, we really want to make another game. We really like see that people respond to this, but they're tired of it. So how do we change that? And I think that's what I think is the main struggle in the game, because then that leads to the moment at E3 where he comes out of the shadows and everybody freaks the f out because no one would have freaked the f out. No one would have had that level of excitement. I don't even think their sales would have been that high. I mean, it's kind of why like a lot of reboots of things do well. And now we're seeing a lot of TV shows of games that are already out there. It is really hard to get people interested in new IP. And we know this. This is why Marvel does well. And it's why commercial success. But I think part of it is like the regeneration, the new era of God of War, not necessarily this crunch. Yeah, they needed the crunch to get there. But I think the story for me was like, which I thought was so exciting and so challenging. And as a viewer, that makes you excited. How do we do this differently?
And I think that there's a distinction here that there is struggle. There always will be struggle when you're making art. That's what happens. But there's a difference between struggle with the art and the human sacrifice. You're trying to avoid the human sacrifice.
Right. Struggle from 9 to 5. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it will be fucking hard. Games, like, it's amazing that games get finished. But there's a quote by Shigeru Miyamoto, the main designer of Mario. He has a quote that goes, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. So it's like, yes, maybe you'll get it out on time, but like with Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky, it'll always be tainted by that thought of, oh, it's that shitty game that came out unfinished. So focusing on the quality, on the employees, on getting it out when it's done is important.
That's a great point. And I think that's part of also the solution, because when they see games that have shitty launches because of crunch and like unrealistic expectations, they realize that they are actually left dollars on the table. If Cyberpunk had an amazing release with no bugs and stuff like that, like they would have made way more money than the long tail that comes after they finally make it a good game like 2 years later.
They had free Game of the Year status before it even came out.
Exactly. And also, I wanted to talk about Nintendo for a second. Nintendo, they had an internal release date for the Switch 2 of like releasing later this year, but they never announced it publicly. So now that they've delayed it, which again is just like according to reporters on this, to Q1 of next year, they don't really like feel that pressure, and they can just tell the employees, yeah, keep going. Like, we delayed this thing, but we never told the public, so we're not really accountable to anyone. And we can just like go at our pace. I think and also I think we've talked about this in the Jiro episode. Nintendo's CEOs have taken pay cuts to allow the employees to not get laid off. So like they do have good working culture that is very healthy despite them being Japanese. So another like it's a counterexample to my point.
Yeah. What was I gonna what is the Switch 2 promising? Like,
we don't know.
Is it sort of like an Xbox One thing?
We have no idea.
We have no information.
It's only rumored.
Whoa.
I want to just really quickly go through my tangent because it's related, but not. And we're approaching the 1 hour and 30-minute mark here of recording. So my tangent's a little bit related, and it's on the subject of auteurs. And just to give a quick definition, an auteur is an artist with a distinctive approach, usually film director, but it's likened to artists in general, whose control over the work is so unbounded and personal that the director is likened to be the author or the sole creator of the work. Let's see here. Yeah. So I just got a thumbs down from Grant, but it might be related. Sorry, I was reading.
It was Mo.
It was Mo. So
Fuck
to me,
auteurs.
in watching this movie, Corey really felt like the real driving force and the auteur of God of War. I mean, like, he's been on God of War for the longest time,
Right.
Literally created the game, so I could understand why he has such a control over the vision. But there was one scene that stuck out to me, and it was when he was like, "How do we feel about this arena?" Remember that moment in the documentary?
Yeah.
It's like late in the game, and in the creation of the game, and it's just this one stage that they're working on with a giant, like a giant's hand has created the battle stage, the arena, and he's kind of, I wish, I'll get there. He basically just goes, so how do we feel about this stage? Is it too empty? Is it too big? And you can kind of see the look on everyone's face, like they look around and they're like, you're seeing something. It looks fine to me. But like there was this frustration, and it's very palpable in the room, and it was very palpable with a lot of people with Corey, right? As he's creating this game, right? Where there's a frustration of trying to translate what this guy is talking about into reality, into a thing. And eventually he gets around to his point where he's like, well, the arenas that we've had thus far are like very dynamic, and like there's these things happening inside of them, but this one's so massive and empty, we got to fill it with people, and that's just not going to be enjoyable. Maybe we should shrink it. But you could see the look on everyone's face where they're like, oh my God, like he's putting more work on our plate, and we have to make this work. because he's the director. So I wanted to know everybody's thoughts on maybe starting with Corey in this way as the director of this, but then also this concept of an auteur who has this vision and who has a lot of control over it, and the results that they can get or can't get or yada yada. So just wanted to hear everybody's reaction to that first.
I agree with you. I think he's an auteur, and it makes me think of Fincher immediately.
Yep. The other one that came to mind for me was David Lynch. David Lynch,
like, it's very specific.
He's very controlling over his work. Mo,
It's the Davids.
Mo and Grant, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I think what's cool about him is, well, he even said himself that he was an asshole, but that when he sees something, he's like, no, it's not going to be like that. Like, even when they talked, like, they didn't go over this in the documentary, which I was surprised. A lot of the marketing, though, talked about it, is that game has no cuts. It is a single take game. There's no camera cut.
Crazy.
And so throughout the development, that's a huge, like, undertaking, is to how do you make this game have no camera cuts or no visible camera cuts. And so that reminds me of the other part where he was like, it's not going to fade to black though, right? And he said, well, it might. And he's like, no, it's not going to fade to black. Where I think with a story as personal as this, it almost kind of requires it. Like, he's got to be the guy. It's like, this is the vision, and it's not on base, so it needs to be on vision. I didn't work with the guy, but it seemed like it worked fairly well. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think, like, if you're really sort of, you know what it's going to be about, and you're in that position, and people already respect you in that position, like, yeah, it's like the director of a movie. I feel like it's like, yeah, you may not want this person to, like, be torturing you, and there'd be a certain line that you don't want them to cross, but, like, at a certain point, they are committing to this, and this is their art. This is what they want to make, and you are a part of that. It doesn't mean that it's like this divine ruler that, like, you can't get a word in edgewise, but
Right.
I don't know. I think there is value to it for sure.
Yeah, totally. I have, like, even just thinking about creative projects I've worked on in the past, I loved when someone had, like, a very specific creative vision of what they wanted going in, and that they were mostly unwilling to compromise on it, but they still kept their mind a little bit open. And I think Corey did to some extent. Like, when he originally pitched them the idea of the game, I think he described it as something like, you know, a kid with Kratos in, like, a cave, and they're going to the city, and you just see, like, the camera pan over. But at the time, like, his idea for it was not that it was Kratos' son. And then, like, everybody else pitched in their ideas, and then they eventually got to where this game is now. But, like, he went into it with just a kernel of an idea, and then he did take the input of everybody else. Same with the Norse mythology. I'm guessing that probably came from someone other than him.
Yeah.
But I also think there are other game directors who share this, like, auteur role.
Yeah.
A couple examples that came to mind for me was Sam Lake, who worked on Alan Wake and Max Payne and stuff like that, to the point where you see him, like, you see his character model in the games themselves. He literally inserts himself in there. And another one, of course, is Hideo Kojima, who worked,
You know it.
Of course. Yeah.
So yeah, these are a couple of auteurs that I think are appreciated by the industry.
Yeah. The reason I bring it up is because I feel like sometimes there's a certain level of, like, overbearing that people get into, where it's like, oh, like, I can't stand when somebody is like that. And it's not to say that these people probably don't give a little bit back and forth. That's when I hear auteur and I hear people talk about it, there is this connotation sometimes where it's just like they are overbearing and they are like a dictator in many ways. Like, there's this one clip of David Lynch freaking out because somebody said, maybe you want to, like, cut this scene down. And he's like, why does everybody keep saying that to me? Why does everybody keep telling me to, like, make it shorter? And he, like, flips out. And it shows, like, you know, he's kind of having a tantrum to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I actually think that auteurs and people like this, as we've all kind of said, is that it's a really good thing in a lot of ways, because you need to have a very clear artistic direction that you're going in. And Corey says himself, I was not trying to be slanderous to Corey in any way, shape, or form. He was saying that he's like, I have the expertise of all these people to take these crazy ideas and make them a reality. He actively recognizes that, he's not the one who's actually like making the video game. They're all making the video game together, but he just has this vision to bring to life. And I think that's super important.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy to me how much he sticks to that. And you brought up a good point, Grant, of like no cuts. Is it going to fade to black? It's not going to fade to black. We're not doing that. No, I won't do that.
Yeah, no, I think it's important. Yeah, for sure. And like, I think I feel like we'd have to look at more examples of what an auteur is like, because it feels like director and auteur are so closely related. Fuck you. It's burping. No,
I know.
I feel like director and auteur are so closely defined, you know, like the director obviously is supposed to know the direction, but an auteur, it also feels like has his hands in the weeds more. If that makes sense. Like auteurs that I think of are the ones that wrote and directed, that like this is their baby. Where I feel like some directors might just be, this is the idea, I'm just trying to make sure the team sticks to it. And I think definitely Corey feels like it fits more. He feels like he fits more into auteur for sure. Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know, he did a great job of, I feel like, listening to other people, but also going, no, I have this vision. We knew this was my vision. It needs to stay on that, which I think is interesting.
Wes Anderson is a good example of.
I was literally just gonna say that we were reading each other's minds. Like I think it's like style is super important when it comes to an auteur. Like the vision is played out on the page. I think like directors can be auteurs, like we were saying, David Lynch, David Fincher, but there is collaboration necessary in any of these artistic processes. But a lot of times an auteur is like David Fincher literally will like shoot 7 seconds of a movie like for hours and hours and hours. He's like, I know exactly how this is going to turn. I know exactly how this is going to cut. Like when you're at that level, if you're like, I know this is not going to have any cuts. I know that I'm seeing this arena and it needs to be smaller. Yeah,
it's not dynamic enough, especially compared to everything that happened before. Like it's what makes it. I mean, there's a reason why it's one of the greatest video games ever created. Yeah, you know, it's now
it's not a suggestion. It's like, it's actually like, no, this is the change we're making because I see what's wrong with it.
That's such an interesting thing. It's not a suggestion. It's not like, well, it could be this, it could be. It's just they see it. Or
what do you think?
Yeah, clearly, it's just like this doesn't work. And there's this translation that has to happen between like why it doesn't work and how do we fix it and all of that. That's just like so interesting to watch play out on screen. I think this was just a good movie in general of like showing the give and take of an artistic process. Yeah. Because what was it? Oh, I can't remember her name. She was just one of the main set of directors on
Yumi
it.
Yang?
Yumi Yang. Yumi.
Yumi Yang.
Yumi was like, saying...
I left a note for Yumi Yang.
Yeah.
And then he goes, Yumi Yang. That's so cute. Oops.
But she said this is not a top-down organization, right? We're all making something together. And everybody has their expertise and everything. And his was just the vision. You know, that's something that I can really appreciate is that it's like his expertise is in the vision of the piece.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Mo,
what's your tangent?
What's your tangent?
Mine was just going to be about release dates, and I've already got to talk about those based on your tangent, so I don't have a tangent. I'll wait for my green room.
Okay. How do we feel about moving on to the green room?
Let's go to the green room.
Let's go to the green room. Okay. We're entering the cum zone. For our listeners who are new to the show, the green room is basically where we talk about some off-topic stuff. We can get to know us as people. And we just kind of talk about whatever we like, whatever happened in our week, whatever. And sometimes it's the cum zone.
Come time.
We hope not.
No.
All right, everybody. How's your days, weeks? How's your things? What's up?
Chris and I have been watching a lot of movies lately. Stuff I like haven't seen or like one of us has seen. I had never seen it, Usual Suspects yesterday. Chris has seen it. What else have we watched?
Blade Runner
watched-
2049.
Yeah, which I had never seen.
How did you feel about it?
I really enjoyed it. I do feel like I was a little bit victim to not fully understanding the universe, but I eventually caught on. I want to see the first one. I do want to see the first one to compare. But I really enjoyed it. I had a great experience watching it. I just think like tech in movies right now is so fucking sick. Like it's just
right.
we're just in this like beautiful age of things just being so incredible to watch. Just so mind blowing. It really feels real when you watch it. Okay, so let me see. I had never seen the full thing, which was weird because it was like every time I went to watch it, I'm like, I should not be watching this right now. So like I had never seen the full thing of Mad Max because I was like on a plane. I'm like, I don't want to watch this on my phone. Or I was like on my laptop and like, I think I was, I don't know, like probably doing a illegal watch of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally watch it now. And I also really enjoyed it. Another movie where like the action is just so incredible and show-stopping. We saw Mother, which is another Bong Joon-ho.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's pretty
Really
good.
interesting.
It's not like my favorite of his films. Like I was entranced. And it's a great film. But yeah, I would give it like a 3.5 star, 3-star movie.
I liked it. The lead woman is incredible.
Oh, so good.
I finally watched the entirety of The Fighter. I had never seen the entirety of it.
Never heard of it.
Christian Bale. It's Christian Bale and
Fuck.
Bye, Grant.
No signal.
yeah. Come time.
Come
All right,
time.
everybody.
Come time! My camera's dying apparently.
Oh my god.
Son
The
of a
Fighter
bitch.
is with Mark
just
Wahlberg
overheating,
and
It's dying.
oh
Fuck.
No,
We're all
goodbye,
dying.
Grant.
You have to
We
suffer
are all
without
dying.
seeing me. But anyway, what are we talking about?
The Fighter is Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale and Melissa Leo. Melissa Leo won the Oscar, I think, supporting actor. And maybe it was main, maybe it was lead. But Christian Bale won supporting that year too. He was really amazing in it. It's about boxing. I feel like I've been watching a lot of like fight related things recently because we watched Iron Claw. Super interesting. What did she win for? But it's a great movie, 2010. And I remember all the awards. I remember the awards season for it. I think it was like when I first really started watching the Oscars and being like entranced with it.
Best supporting actress.
Melissa Leo.
I just googled it. Best supporting.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so we've been doing that, and I need to get out of the house because I've definitely been spending a lot of days inside watching movies, but I just like doing it. We watched a crazy docuseries about a TikTok dancers cult. I really want to cover it on the show.
That one's so
Oh,
good. I watched that one.
You've seen it?
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Yeah, we
super
did.
good.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
Mo,
we
you've
did?
seen it
No,
too?
no.
Yeah.
I haven't. No, I remember we talked about it last time.
We did talk about it last time. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we
Oh
just
my
watched
God,
it.
did we talk about
Yeah,
it, Chris?
We
did.
talked about it briefly, but I didn't remember the exact
I did
details of
not
talking about
connect
it.
that. I was like, Chris, we should watch this.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
I'd be
so
down to
good.
cover it at some point.
yeah, it's
it's
really
really good.
really good.
It's a series, so we would need to like spend a bunch of time on it. But wow,
How many episodes?
3.
3.
Yeah, that's totally doable.
not- it's
Grant's
not bad
already
at all.
watched it. You guys have both watched it. It's just me who's left. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great. It's
really
so great.
Well, from my green room, I'll start by saying that I'm going to get my septum undeviated, which I'm really
Oh.
excited about.
wow.
Yeah, so
Straightening
You're gonna be
you
able to
out,
breathe.
boy.
yeah, I'm so excited. So that's not going to happen for a while, but I had a follow up appointment yesterday. Yesterday, to just like I it's something that I had to what's the word, elect for. It's elective surgery, so I had to like meet with my ENT. He had to like run me through all the things and be like, here's what to expect. Here's this and this and this and this. And you have to elect for the surgery. And I'm like, I want the surgery. I elect for the surgery. And because I want to bring my baseline up, like I'm taking allergy medication all the time, but you can even probably see on camera here. So if I look straight,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it.
You can see that I have this curve in my nose.
Oh wow, interesting.
And it's going to be a septoplasty. It's not necessarily going to fix the shape. What do you do? Why?
I'm
you
so
don't take
sorry.
my
Hates you.
freaking
Mo
medical
hates you.
stuff seriously. You don't take my opinion seriously. What is it going to take, man?
Why is it always when Chris is talking? Isn't that
I
weird?
don't know. It's
It
a sign.
knows.
It knows. It knows. So getting the septoplasty isn't necessarily going to fix any kind of crookedness in my nose, but you can definitely see, like, when I turn to the side, it's sloped this way.
Yeah.
And I've had that for basically my entire life, as long as I can remember. But yeah, in recent memory, my nose is always stuffy. When I go to bed, it's like I have to lay on one side and the congestion goes from one side to the other, and then I can breathe through that nose. But
Through that nose, my second
that-
nose.
I have two states of nose, unnose and nose. And yeah, it's been something that I've been struggling with for a while. And so I finally am just like, I'm pulling the trigger. I just need to get this done. Luckily, the surgery is 1 hour long, same day. And the recovery time is like a month or less or something like that. And usually you start to feel better after a couple months. Like you really start to feel the effects of it. But the actual recovery time is relatively quick. So that's coming up
He's
in my life
getting
soon.
a nose
Getting a
job.
little septum job.
Hell yeah. Are you excited for it?
I'm so excited. I'm like, this is something that I've thought about. Like, I can't breathe when I'm just sitting here talking. Like it's really, I'm also coming off of a cold, but like I have to like wear a nose
That's a
strip when I go to
lovely sound
bed.
effect.
But I have to wear a nose strip when I go to bed. I have to take allergy medication every single day. I have to do sinus sprays. And when I'm at the gym, I'm like running on the treadmill and I'm trying to breathe through my nose, but it doesn't feel right. So I end up breathing through my mouth anyway. I've become a mouth breather in many, many ways where I like have to catch myself and be like, nope, breathe through your nose, man. Breathe through your nose.
When he's a mouth breather.
What?
An ick?
Ick.
No, it's a win. That's a W.
That's a W.
So yeah, I'm really, really excited to get it because I want to just
It's like
be
an
able,
open mouth chewer.
like the first night that I'm not an open mouth chewer.
I know,
No, it's
I'm
like
teasing
an
you.
open mouth chewer.
Yes,
No.
that's what I said.
I know many open mouth chewers, and I don't want to flame them here, but stop chewing with your mouth open.
Disgusting.
I'm really excited. I can't wait for the first night that I go to sleep and I'm like, and I just
Yeah.
breathe through both nostrils. Because the biggest thing is I can't like lay on my back anymore. I have to be on one of my sides. So yeah, that's going to be huge. I'm really looking forward to
Next,
that.
he's going to get buccal fat removal.
And then I'm gonna get that, like, and then maybe like a little. No, I really don't have any desire to get plastic surgery.
Oh, why not?
In that way.
No BBL?
Oh, really? What? No, I just I could go off on a tangent about that of like people's fear of aging and death and how we as a society just like people are like, well, I don't want to look like that. It's ugly. It's gross. It reminds me of the end. It's like, it's also kind of beautiful, right? Because it's inevitable. And, I look at my grandma and my grandparents and plenty of old people who are aging and getting wrinkles. And I'm like, there's beauty in that of just like having the signs of age on yourself. Crow's feet. I love crow's feet. I think they're so, it's like beautiful. It's cute and beautiful. Smile lines, everything. It's just like, I don't know. It's part of being a human. So don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
I don't really like plastic surgery in that way.
And we
People
do
are-
live in a society.
And we do fully live in a society, but people are allowed to do what they want, which means, and yeah, we live in a society, so people can get plastic surgery if they want. If they want to get plastic surgery, they totally can. I won't be getting
We
any
have
major
debates
plastic
about it all
surgery.
the time.
We do. Katie and I do have debates about it.
I get his point, but I think people should be able to do whatever they want. And if they want anything
I
tough-
literally just said that people
No, I know
can.
you did. I did. I know
No, you
did.
didn't.
I'm just saying.
No,
No.
you're actually saying that it should be illegal.
You're a
To
liar.
get plastic surgery.
I think
a
you're
damn
just more
liar.
against it than I am.
Yeah, I am.
But
Yeah. So the other thing that I want to talk about is the Xbox announcement because I know that, or what was it called again that you sent me?
Showcase.
The
Xbox Showcase, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm interested to hear your thoughts because I wasn't that blown away by it. Not really. Not to the extent that like, I mean, we just recapped the 2016
Yeah.
PlayStation conference, and that like if we're talking about like mind blowing, it's like when the Nintendo announced Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, like all of those things. Like that was a
where were those
huge,
years?
That's a good. I think that all kind of came out around
That was
the same time.
Yeah, it must have been just before 2017 because I think they released the Switch.
Mario Kart was earlier.
Yeah,
than that.
it's a remaster.
But like the Switch.
I was like, I
version of
played
it
that
and-
as like a 12-year-old.
yeah,
Not
March 3rd, 2017. So
Interesting.
but yeah, I want to hear from both of y'all who have watched it, and Katie, if you want to watch it too. You can talk about it next time.
the
but-
Xbox.
Showcase, yeah. The Xbox, but I want to hear your thoughts on it because I wasn't that blown away by it. And I said to y'all, I'm like, the one thing that I did note on it was just watching how toxic the YouTube live chat was and how it makes me embarrassed to like say that I am a gamer. Like I don't even say like to say gamer. I enjoy video games. I play video games. I don't like using the label of gamer because that is just like I don't want to be associated with the YouTube commenters with the moment they see like a woman person of color who is the main character. They're like, this is a woke L game. They are forcing this down our throats. It's like, guys, you realize that this really doesn't affect you in any way. And in fact, if you can critique gameplay if you really want to like hate on a game, hate on the gameplay. Like there can be a bad game that has a main character who's a person of color, and you can attack the game without attacking somebody's fucking race. So yeah, I was just like watching that, and
I wonder if half of
made
them
me so
are,
gross.
well, it's probably more than half of them are just saying that because other people are, it's now become a bit to say that.
Probably like is like
Yeah.
a bit and to get a rise out of it, but
Some of them were
just like,
sarcastic eventually. Like you would
Yeah.
see a woman on screen and they'd be like, oh my God, a woman on screen? This game's gone woke.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did
It's
see one
definitely a
person be
bit
like,
now. I'm not
"Man, all these
excusing it.
stylized games suck. I really just want it all to be like COD ripoffs, just mirror COD. I don't want everything's a first person shooter where I get to slide. But anyway, but I wanted to hear y'all's thoughts on that.
Mo, go for it.
Okay, cool. I like that they show. Okay, my top 5 games from the showcase are Doom, which if you haven't watched Grant's video reviewing 2016, you should go watch that.
Good plug.
Welcome back,
Grant's
Grant.
like, no.
What'd you do? How'd you fix it? Did you just charge it this whole time?
I'm just turning it back on to see where the battery's at.
Okay, cool. Gears of War is doing a like return back to the original characters, and I played
Gears of War?
Yeah, so
Gears
from
of War.
from
So
the
many
Xbox
of war.
360. Yeah, it has literally the same acronym as God of War, GOW. But
Damn.
yeah, Indiana Jones also I thought looks interesting. I would never expect it to play an adventure game in first person. I'm excited to see what that's like rather than playing it like Uncharted and stuff like that and Tomb Raider, which is the classics. Fable, I love the tone. I'm still curious to see more gameplay of. But my favorite part, which is something that is still like very high uncertainty, is this game called Expedition 33. I love
Yes.
the art design. This game looks beautiful.
beautiful.
It's made by ex-Ubisoft developers. It's a tiny team of only like 20 people apparently, but I love the direction that they're going in. The gameplay is going to be like turn-based. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Whoa.
Oh wait, there was one Path of Exile. I don't know if that was on this one, but that might have been.
Path of
that was
Exile
one-
2 is already out, I think. But
It
yeah,
is?
yeah.
It looks so good.
Doesn't it look good?
I want to play it so bad. The other one that I am actually very excited for is Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Because it reminds me of y'all played Mirror's Edge?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you guys
Nothing.
keep track of all of these? I'm overwhelmed.
How do you
Because it
keep
was
track
our
of movies
life.
you've watched?
Exactly. Yeah. You know.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
true.
like the ones that stick with you. But it reminded me of that, and that game left a hole in my heart that's never been filled. Like such good first-person parkour running as a mechanic. I was like, oh, okay, this might scratch that itch. If it comes out on PC, I'll play it. I'm not going to get an Xbox, but yeah, I really hope it comes out on PC.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Come on, show some of the free running. Yeah, boom, boom.
Does look
That
pretty
is
good.
So Mirror's Edge. like the wall run, the jump, like the way that her hands are moving. Like I'm so excited to see some more about this game. The slide,
this
come
is
on,
really
the wall
Oh,
run.
this looks great. I didn't
looks-
remember this part.
Oh, it just looks so smooth. Like the motion in
I'm like
Mirror's
dizzy
Edge.
a little bit watching it.
Yeah, but like Mirror's Edge was like, oh my God, like you could just run. Like getting into the groove of it and feeling the speed of that game was so great. The music of Mirror's Edge too, if they can like take a note out of Mirror's Edge, because it kind of feels like they are, if they take a note of like that free running and then a note out of the music, it'd be a pretty great game. Pretty fucking great.
Grant?
I thought the show was fucking great. I had a blast. Especially, it doesn't compare to the one that we just talked about PlayStation, because that one was just like the best one ever.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen because
Doesn't have an orchestra.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
That's a
that
great
was really
point.
cool.
Live demo plus
Yep.
live music is
That was
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy.
They were like,
game.
we're flying all these motherfuckers in from Iceland. Let's fucking go.
So it's not that. Definitely isn't that, because also game development cycles have to line up to have announcements that are that crazy all at the same time. So obviously it's not as good as that. But consistently, every game that they announced was like, that actually looks interesting. Like I would play that. I would try that. Even like the 5v5 hero shooter, which like we're all sick and tired of that format by now. I was like, actually looks like a fun concept. I kind of want to try that.
I thought so too. Yeah.
But of course, like the biggest bomb drop that I was like, they started the show with some good announcements, including Doom, which like Doom is just, oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God, they're so good.
So they're doing another Doom.
Yes, Doom, the Dark Ages. They're doing a prequel. And you got like a fucking chainsaw shield that you can
The
throw.
moment I saw the chainsaw,
I literally thought we had a
shield,
fifth
I was
person join the studio, but now I see.
freaking out.
Yeah, dude, it looks so fucking cool.
Just wait. If you want to talk about motion and like momentum in a game, Katie, you should play. I should get you on and play some Doom.
I don't need
when
more screen time in my life, Christian.
when he
I don't.
pulls
It's so
the
poisonous.
ripcord to start the chainsaw.
Yeah, this is fucking
Oh
sick.
my
And
god!
it throws it and it comes back. Oh, coom. That's what I'm doing.
He didn't say it. He didn't
did.
say.
He
He
said
said
coom.
coom.
He said coom.
He said coom.
Yeah, Mo, would you mind bringing up the Xbox showcase, like all the announcements? Because I feel like I'm missing a bunch of them. But like also
Like a
Fable,
list?
yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to show one thing
Yeah.
too from a Reddit thread about the showcase, which kind of encapsulates what I was saying. It's watching these showcases with chat being visible was a mistake because that was the best showcase so far. It was kind of funny when Flight Simulator
you
was
zoom
showing
in
and
a
people
little bit,
spam.
Chris?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This man watching
Oh,
the
I
showcase in
saw
chat. Yeah, it was kind of funny when Flight Simulator was showing and people spam Taylor Swift Simulator.
Wait, I don't
That's
get
really
it.
funny.
That's hilarious.
That's really funny.
Because in Flight Simulator, you get to just like fly
A private
airplanes. And some of them are like private jet style, but it's just airplanes in general. So it's like hot air balloons or just aerial vehicles. Hot air
Taylor
balloons.
Swift cease and desist simulator.
Oh my
She
god!
sent
exactly.
a cease and desist to that kid. That tracked
yeah,
down her
like-
project.
Fable looks great, especially by Playground. I trust that developer. They've made the Horizon series in that game, or the Forza Horizon series, and those games are really good. What's that fucking Bayou game? That's what I keep calling it. South of Midnight.
Yeah, well, that was the one that I was referring to. When people were like,
That
"Oh,
fucking
freaking, like,
Bayou game.
I
It's
was
in
really
Louisiana.
excited to see it because it looked like a really cool art style,
Right?
And Omo's got it. There we go.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So the only ones that I was like kind of on are like the continuous games, so like Elder Scrolls Online. There's like Diablo 4, like Sea of Thieves. Like I just didn't care as much about those. But like seriously, we had a lot. Like the Metal Gear Solid remake, Life is Strange, bringing back the original main character, the new Dragon Age for the first time in 10 years, the new Fable, Perfect Dark, Expedition 33, which I'm still interested in. Call of Duty actually looked fun.
Yeah.
Like what the
New movement system that
yeah.
makes it look
When
a
was
lot
the
more.
last one
so.
released?
No. There is a new movement system.
Oh, okay.
They went in depth on it, and it looks great. Avowed looks super interesting. Assassin's Creed might be an actual video game for once. Stalker looks cool. Like, it just had the games for once. Like like in comparison to the rest of E3 this year, we're calling it E3. It's not E3, but basically, in comparison to everybody else, they had the games. Like every other showcase felt like, okay, yeah, I mean, this looks fine, I guess. But these were new announcements. These were cool and interesting looking games that were original and exciting. And I haven't had a showcase like that in a couple of years. So it's fun to see creativity back in the gaming industry. So that was my experience. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And again, I was in looking at that lineup, there are a lot of games that I'm like, okay, yeah, but none of them really like blew my socks off because it's just, and it kind of shows the kind of games that I'm into.
Yeah, sure.
But there was one, let me see if I can pull it up quickly, where I love a hack and slash game. That's why Path of Exile 2, I was like, oh, interesting. But I think I was looking up like, well, what are PS4's offerings? And there's going to be, or PS4, PS5, or PlayStation in general. Let me see if I can find that quickly. But there was just this one.
It's not Katana Zero. It's like something Zero.
Yeah, I know you're referring to exactly what I'm thinking about. Where
that's a Souls-like.
It's a Souls-like, but it's also a hack and slash-like. And I'm like, ooh, this could really, because have you played, oh my God, why can't I think of it?
Sekiro?
No, I haven't played Sekiro, and I really need to.
It's a great game.
It's a Devil May Cry. Have you played Devil May Cry 5?
Yeah, I played 5.
The newest one? So good. And
so fun.
It really, like, again, like, I like being like hordes of enemies that you have to like go through and like take out. There was another one, I think inside of this one, where it almost looked like it was like a hack and slash mixed with hack and slash. Say that 3 times fast. It was just like a hack and slash mixed with a like strategy based game, like an army management type game. But I didn't see enough information to actually know what that was. And again, that might be on the PlayStation aspect. But yeah, I just like, I'm not really all that into. I've really fallen off the Call of Duty plane. Oh my God, the Call of Duty train, as many people have. I don't know how I feel about the Indiana Jones game because I'm like, it feels too cash grabby for me. As like, here's what we've been talking about. Here's an IP that we all know and we all trust. I don't really trust it anymore, but it's Indiana Jones. It's an action adventure, and I don't know. It seems a little bit cheap to me personally. It's just my feeling on it.
Yeah. I think what people are excited about for that is that it's made by Machine Games. I don't know if you're aware of their previous body of work, but they made the new Wolfenstein games.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's riding on a little bit that it's like, oh my God, it's like an Uncharted sort of thing, but it's because it's Machine Games that people are excited.
Got it. Yeah, I'll wait to see about Assassin's Creed Shadows because again, like, it's one thing to see some gameplay and like all of that, and it's another thing to actually experience it and play it. The Starfield stuff, I'm like, I don't really
give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. But for me personally, the ones, of course, Doom, the Dark Ages looks like it's going to be another crazy addition. I never got to complete Life is Strange. I played the first little bit of it, and I do want to go back to it because I loved what I played of it. But yeah, I wasn't like fully blown away, And I think fair. that again, you can absolutely be blown away, and I'm not trying to just compare it to the 2016 because even we hadn't watched or like looked at the 2016 showcase before I was watching this, which was like yesterday or the day before. And I was like, okay, yeah, there's some like interesting, like I'm glad they're bringing back Fable. Dragon Age is getting its first thing in a while, which is really exciting because I know lots of people played that game. But for me personally, and this just shows again who I am as a gamer, I'm like, okay, Doom, really looking forward to that. I'm excited to try out like Expedition. Want to try out the again, now I can't stop thinking of the Bayou one.
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight, thank you. Looks interesting, but yeah, I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah, it feels like Microsoft does need to kind of focus for a little bit on just pumping out some good games.
Yeah.
And if they come out on PC, I'll play them. But
all of them will.
There's nothing that I've seen yet that's like, I'm going to get a console just to play that game.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to.
I don't know that Microsoft should return to that model. You know what I mean? Like maybe they should just focus on making PC gaming a little more accessible to people.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's
Yeah.
exactly like they haven't released an Xbox exclusive, and I can't think of the last one. Grant, do you know?
Halo 5.
Everything's been okay. Yeah, there you go. It's been a while.
2015.
Everything's always been a PC simultaneous exclusive, and like there are rumors that their next Xbox is going to be similar to a PC. What that means exactly, we're not sure yet, but like potentially, maybe under the hood, it's literally just going to be a PC that can run PC games, except it's going to be more accessible to people who are not like, you know, tech-y.
Yeah, I want like a Steam Deck type thing.
Right.
Yeah, wait. I want to know what if you and Katie, I do want to hear your opinion on this too, because you've been kind of quiet as we've talked about this, because you know obviously you haven't seen it, and I want to include you in the conversation. What would the perfect gaming system look like for you? What do you think would like it have to constitute? Because for me, I'm like, it absolutely has to match the hardware of a good gaming PC. It doesn't even need to be like top of the line, but like a decent gaming PC, because we're at the point where you're spending like $500, $600 on a new console, and all it can do is play games, and then you can of course load apps on it and you know watch movies and stuff like that. But give me something more, right? What would that look like? So definitely the hardware, and frankly, what I would want is kind of be able to switch modes, right? Put it into game mode, put it into PC mode, put it into movie mode, or like whatever, because I think you could get something out of all of those different forms, right? If you have game mode is just like high refresh rate, it's like all I care about is high refresh rate, or like, you know, good graphics or something like that, then it switches into that mode. If you're in movie mode, all I care about is HDR, 4K, you know what I mean? Like a good signal, then it switches to that. And then if it's PC, it's just like, oh, you can switch to a basic operating system where you can access your email, access the internet, go to YouTube, things like that. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm less experienced in this, but I think I like the idea of switching modes. I think that sounds really interesting. But
what were
I don't know.
some
I
of
feel
your
like
favorite consoles? Did you like, how much did you like the Wii compared to, I don't know, PlayStation or something?
me, I never really had a PlayStation.
You had
I
a Wii
played
though,
on
right?
I had a Wii. I loved the Wii. And I played like Wii Sports. I had Wii Fit. I had that My Sims Agents game that rest in peace. I love that game. Yeah, we had a bunch of like random games that we would play. I don't remember all of them. They're probably still at my parents' house. Yeah, I enjoyed the Wii a lot. I felt like it was a little bit more accessible for someone who like wasn't a big video game head like me. Because I think the second I went into like any Xbox territory at a friend's house, I was like,
Sure.
I did GameCube a little bit at friends' houses. I never had one. I did have a DS. But yeah, since the Wii, I really haven't had anything. I played Sims with EA, which is
Okay.
now under Origin, but I think they're breaking
So on
off and
PC,
doing,
right?
Yeah, but on Mac. So
Sure.
yeah,
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah.
In terms of like different game modes and stuff like that, I like the Switch. I think it changed the game for a lot of people because it has like a mobile mode and then a docked mode, and that increased accessibility for a lot of people. And then obviously Steam Deck has been the step up. I like the idea of like what Grant said of like a Steam Deck type thing for Xbox to do. Steam actually tried this like 10 years ago. Something called the Steam Machine. It was...
I feel like I remember this.
It did not go well.
Yeah. And it was basically like pre-built computers that would run Steam OS made by different third-party game publishers, or sorry, hardware manufacturers. It didn't go well, but I think that it can go well this time, because back then they didn't have Proton, which is like the compatibility layer that lets Linux, which is the operating system for Steam OS, to play Windows games. And now, and like part of the reason those Steam machines failed is because they couldn't play that many games, I think. But now, like, that problem has been solved, and Steam Deck has been super successful.
And if Windows is the one who's making the operating system,
Right.
But here's the problem. Then it's Windows, and I fucking hate Windows.
but what if it's like a super simple version? Because like that's
true.
where like that's where they could make something new here, where it is like, imagine a combo of the Steam Deck, the Switch, the PlayStation 5, and a regular computer. And I personally, I would love to see like a mode switching, because then you could take it in mobile. You could, have motion stuff built into it. It'd be a huge undertaking, but man, I think it'd be an incredible console, because I'm trying to start a Blu-ray collection, like rather than continually just like, where's that movie? Oh, we have to rent it from this spot, or we have to have it on Netflix or on this or on that, right? Especially movies that I want to rewatch. Just get it on Blu-ray. I want a Blu-ray player in that way, so my PS4 is serving that purpose. But man, imagine like if it just checks all the boxes. I think it would be. I mean, probably. I'm probably asking the impossible, but I think it'd be really cool to see.
Right after the showcase, the CEO of Xbox was interviewed, and he mentioned that he wants a gaming handheld. And so, like, if you read into that, maybe they're working on one right now.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Actually, is that they're working on a handheld. I think for me personally, I don't know if there could ever be one single device that could do it for me, because I like my gaming PC, but that's because I edit and I do a lot of other extra stuff on it. And I like my gaming PC because then I can upgrade it however much I need. It's easy expandability. But if we're just nixing my computer, I want a Steam Deck or a Switch-like that can do like console level quality at high resolutions, but also as a handheld. But it's multifaceted. It's not just the hardware, because I love being able to play games where I'm comfortable. That's a big deal. But the reason the Steam Deck works is because it has crazy software support. I think what I want is I want a PC-like experience so I can play my PC games wherever I want, but I don't have to think about it. I want the software support where developers are going, yep, we support it. Here's the settings. It works great. There are no issues. And it just does it. I want that. And if Xbox could make something that could use more than Steam, that would be great. Because I love playing games and I hate having to fix them for the developers. So if it could be something like that is like PS5 level technology, so I could play all the biggest games at the best settings, but I can play it anywhere. That's what I want.
Hell yeah.
But if you guys remember Grant's gripe from last week, like even the Steam Deck has issues despite everybody like saying that everything works smoothly. Like, what was it? It was a memory issue with God of War?
Yeah, memory leak. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
so
rough.
Like our dream scenario, I don't know if it's going to be realistic, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a PC, and PCs just, they fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, I want to throw in Grant's tweet thing here. So, Corey tweeted, ask me anything. Grant said, what's your favorite part of the process of making a video game? And Corey said, when it's over and I can sleep.
Speaking of the Steam Deck, I think I've been finding that I am enjoying games more on Steam Deck. It's kind of surprising because like I think I feel like I used to feel locked at my desk to play games, which it's uncomfortable. Like for certain games, it's fine. Like first person shooters with mouse and keyboard, it's fine. But if you like want to play with a controller, like leaning back at a computer is kind of annoying and uncomfortable. So I've been playing on the Steam Deck, playing a bunch of games that like I either thought was all right or wanted to give another shot. So I played Ghost of Tsushima on the Steam Deck front to back. That game is really a lot better than I gave it credit for. Like I wouldn't say it's great. It's not, but it was a lot more fun when I was comfortable, and like the gripes that I had felt a lot less. It felt like I wasn't wasting my time. I'm like, at least I'm comfortable, right? I'm playing something that's not the best, but at least I'm comfortable. And I'm having more fun. And now the next thing I'm trying again is Red Dead 2. My first experience with that game, I don't hate it. I think it's actually very well designed, like especially the open world. But personally, I never really connected with the story. But to know a little bit about me, I don't love Westerns. I've never really been a Western guy.
Chris loves them.
It's my Roman Empire, dude.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I see the appeal.
Settlers and everything.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's just never been my kind of thing. It's always been hard for me to connect to stories like that.
Sure.
But so when I finished the game for the first time, which by the way it took me like 60 hours to play through the full game, which is insane. I felt like I left the game going, it's fine. I don't know, it was fun enough. It's too long, but it was fun. But playing through it again, I'm giving it another shot. I'm excited to see how I feel about the story now, where I'm sitting in a position where I'm comfortable. I'm not worrying about how it's running. I'm not worrying about anything. I'm just playing the game and just thinking about the story and enjoying it. And so far I'm having fun. I still don't know how much I'm connecting to the story, but I'm still really early on. I'm in like chapter 2. Yeah, I think if anyone were to be interested in trying games, and my partner is using my old Steam Deck and she's loving playing a bunch of new games as well. If you want to get into games, I think the Steam Deck is a great way to start. It's really, really cool.
Shout out to Steam Deck.
Hey-o.
Shout out Steam.
All right, so we've talked about E3 and how it's dead and how a bunch of other stuff has popped up, like all the game companies going to their own thing, but also there's something called Summer Game Fest. That's the backdrop. But Katie and I interviewed someone named Victoria Tran. She is the communications director at Inner Sloth, which is the game studio behind Among Us. We talked to her all about her story. And then I saw her pop up during the Summer Games Fest. So I'll play a quick clip for you where she says Grant's signature line.
Come?
Wait.
Come?
Here we go.
I fucked up.
From Inner Sloth, here are Victoria Tran and Forrest Willard.
Oh, she looks so pretty.
Oh no. What's up, gamers?
Yeah!
And basically she talked about this thing that they started called Outer Sloth, which is basically like an investment arm that they're starting at Inner Sloth to invest in indie companies. So I'll play this. It's only a minute and a half. All right. I'll show you their website and stuff like that in a minute, but first wanted to get your reactions.
Yeah.
This
so
game
cool.
company is going to go crazy with the non-binaries. We're all going to be eating this up.
With the
That is-
days and the
Oh my
gays.
The they thems are going to eat this up. Are you kidding me? Oh,
I'm
man.
actually really excited about. I actually tried one button boss fight.
Oh, yeah?
that game was pretty fun. I really want that mech game though. It looks so cute.
That Starfighter game looks like I have not played. Oh, what was the name of that game? Oh, anyway, I can't think of it, but it strikes me as like a game that I want to play, and I'm really excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Katie?
Yeah, it looks so cute. I'm excited about it. I don't know. It's like really cool to see people talking about their games, and yeah, I don't know. I was just like smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun that we had her on the podcast. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I thought you meant me. LOL.
Goodbye, Katie.
And me on this podcast.
Yeah, it's so fun to have Katie on the podcast. So
Yeah.
weird.
So
No,
it's really
Victoria was awesome. I loved
Yeah.
talking to
super
her.
cool.
and she's like part of this investment team as well. And basically they just give money to indie developers. They don't do like full service publishing, so they won't help you with marketing or anything like that, but they just take like part of whatever income you make until they pay you back, like whatever, so until you recoup your costs, and then you share revenue. And that's interesting, right? Because it's like, it aligns the incentives well. So this is a very successful, very tiny team. So they have a shit ton of cash, and they found a way to not only make more cash, but also support other indie developers during a time when like the entire industry is going through layoffs, which I think is really cool. And all you have to do is like send them a pitch deck and maybe some other stuff. I'll show you the submission form. It's literally just your game name, developer name, some links, a one sentence description of your game, how much money you want, and then a link to your pitch
How
deck.
much money you want?
$1 million.
so cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
They said 50K to 2 mil, so
That's pretty amazing.
So want to start making a game, guys? And
Go check
always
out
wanted
Outer
to.
Sloth. Yeah. And I wanted to bring this up because some of this year's most successful games have been from indie companies rather than like big studios. So if you think of like Pal World and more recently, I think Manor Lords, these are companies that are tiny, but they've been doing really well. And I love that we've normalized paying for games because that is what allows these tiny indie studios to succeed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that happen as much with film and television. I wonder if that's because services like Netflix have normalized just paying a subscription fee and then just getting a ton of content for like, it feels like free, even though you're paying a subscription, but you're not paying for specific movies. And like,
Yeah.
I like that has been normalized. It makes the industry more sustainable. It makes people able to make a living doing what they love. And while I like that Xbox Game Pass, which is like a Netflix of gaming, it makes it like games more accessible to gamers, but it kind of fucks up like developers in the long term.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like,
we see that with Spotify. People like make nothing.
Exactly. Great example. If there was a hypothetical person who was thinking about, should I make a game or a movie, and they were independent, I would say make a game because you can get paid for it directly through something like Steam and just go directly to the consumer rather
Definitely
than going
takes
through
longer.
gatekeepers. Yeah.
And then you can make the movie after because you have a proof of concept in a game
Oh, that's a great
Very
point.
true.
and an audience.
The thing about indie development is one game that I can think of, Owlboy, that blew up a few years ago. It took the team of 2 people like 8 or 9 years to make.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it takes a long time to make a game, especially if you've never done it before. So yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like on the film side, I'm not exactly sure how it works for money, but you have to like, as far as I understand, you have to raise money through grants, pitching it to investors, and then you have to sell the thing
Or
to studios. Yeah.
Like film fest and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then worry
Yeah.
about distribution and stuff like that. But I like that with games, it's like a direct relationship. Mm-hmm.
That is
there's
really
something
cool.
nice
It's
about
really
that.
nice.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I hope that changes for other industries soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
And that's a wrap.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
And leave us a thumbs up if you like this episode.
Before we say goodbye, check out the description to know what we're watching next. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye-bye.
Whee!
Bye-bye.